Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Curfew Boys. This is the season recap. Before we get this started, if you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and now TikTok. If you like to see our pretty faces, you can follow us on YouTube and subscribe. And if you want to listen to our podcast, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any other platform. Wow.
Keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Any
You
other
got this.
podcast platform, you got that.
There you go.
So,
There you go. Tell your friends about us.
and tell your friends about us. Rate us. Write
Tell
a
your
review.
mom, your dad.
Tell if you're friends with a
aunts, your
Leafs or
uncles.
if you're friends with a Leafs fan, tell them about us as well because we're about to rip them to shreds.
Oh my God. Let's get it started, boys.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to my boys. We got Fireman Sam.
What's up?
We got Chipman AG, who just finished eating a whole bag of chips while we were in the
I
waiting
haven't
room.
finished the bag. Relax.
Wolfed it down.
Don't
The
lie.
bag
Don't
is
lie to our
finished.
listeners. We got Baseman Zook.
Hey now.
Did I forget somebody? Yeah, we got
Save the best
Statman.
We
for
don't,
last.
we don't see him. We don't see him.
Hello,
Yes.
hello.
We got leave best
Ooh.
for last. We got Statman Joe, and you got me, your host, Anthony. You see, best for last, Anthony.
There you
I'm
go.
joking.
That's for last.
Oh
Anthony. That's a good one.
That joke. Guys. I mean, we're finally doing this episode, the finale after the season's over. Jory, you happy? Jory has a big smile on his face.
Yes, it's exhausting wanting your team to lose and being stressful. Who lost? Who didn't lose? It's more exhausting than them freaking competing for a playoff spot. Seriously,
Really?
it is.
I think it's bittersweet, to be honest.
It's just when you look at the season, Sam, you're like, okay, you guys win. Shit, the teams around us, what happened? They most likely lost. Coyotes lost, Sharks lost again, Ducks lost 10 in a row. Exhausting.
But Joe, you were right this whole time. We were the best shitty team this year.
Yeah,
But
not
Joey, I wanna
shitty
ask
enough.
I want to ask you a question, Jory. Now that you're happy that we're bottom 5, but does it burn right now that you're seeing the standings? We finished with 68 points, and Columbus with 59 points. Right, that's 9 points.
Yeah, and
away
the
from
Ducks were
bottom.
58.
Yeah,
think
and
the Ducks were
Anaheim 58. So all those stupid wins that we had
5 wins.
throughout this season, those stupid ones, those last minute wins, those
Oh,
last
man.
minute 1 points.
It's not what it is, and we had a good first part of the season. That's what it is.
No, but I know what he's getting at. But five
Yeah.
wins in your last place.
Yeah,
Just
Take away five
dumb
stupid wins. Take away
That's
just 5 stupid wins, we'd be at the bottom.
Take two out of the 3 wins against Pittsburgh. Take the win against New Jersey. That is 3 right there of games you should not have
Should
won.
Hold
have
on a
won.
second. There's even
Yeah.
there's even the game against Edmonton where Jack got injured, but yet the Canadiens somehow beat the shit out of the Oilers.
Yes, they beat Tampa
McDavid-
once.
And I was at that game where Drouin got his second goal, but like Tampa Bay looked. Yeah, exactly. We'll get to him later. But yeah, that's at least 8 points.
Yes.
They had a good
The
first
reason-
part of the season.
The
That's
the
the
reason
problem.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ant. The reason, because I've been through this for 82 games, so for me, 5 wins less. I don't think it hurts the Habs' development. I don't think it hurts for any players. I don't think it makes a big difference in terms of how they did in that season, how players did, prospects, veterans. The only thing it hurt is our lottery chances for a generational player.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the part that's going to bug me until the pick is made.
Yeah, but as long as they remain top 5, they got what 41% for a top 5 pick. Like,
But they have a worse odds of finishing out of top 5. I look, even if it's 2%, 2% to me is still 2%.
yeah, I know. Well, no, I get it. Their best odds are picking at number 6 at 40,
3 or 44.
44 point.
Guys.
I think 44.5. But this was expected yet not expected. If you understand what I'm saying.
No, you're right. And this is
And
why you guys call me stats
imagine we
man.
win the lottery, and all this was for nothing. All that anxiety was for nothing. But guys, New
It's
Jersey
part of-
finished bottom 7 last year, and they still got
They-
top 3.
They
Oh,
still
second.
overall.
Second.
Yeah.
Second overall. So
Simon Nemec, who plays for I think the Utica Comet. which the Laval Rockets have made the playoffs, and they're going to be facing them in the first round.
Anthony, the Devils have a horseshoe up their ass. This is the second time they won the lottery in like 4 or 5 years. Remember, they won the lottery when they were fourth or fifth last.
Yes, they were for Nico Hischier, and Taylor Hall called it when Taylor Hall was on the team.
They have a horseshoe up their ass. Sorry, Bettman doesn't like us. We ain't winning this draft.
Oh, stop it! I swear to God, the next person who fucking thinks Bettman has the next conspiracy theorist besides Anthony, who fucking thinks that Bettman has something against the Montreal Canadiens, he doesn't want to. Shut the fuck up, all of you.
It's not Montreal. It's Canada. It's Canada. It's not just Montreal.
Okay, but for some
he wants
reason,
to keep that team in Arizona.
But he wanted an Arizona-born player to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? Enough. People with Gary Bettman doesn't want Montreal to be successful. It's enough. Fuck off. For those of you,
we make enough money for him. He wants to help the franchise. No, he wants to help the franchises that have no fans that want to go there because they don't play any exciting hockey.
You really think he's there with like it's fucking?
Okay, come on, guys. Let's just put this to rest. Let's put this to rest. If Bedard goes to Arizona, Joey is right. And that's it.
But why only Arizona? There's Anaheim, San Jose, all these.
Anaheim won cups. They have. I mean,
whether they won cups or not is a different story. But making money wise, California they're a big market in general because it's California. But fans that go watch hockey, it's nowhere as big as the East Coast.
And you make it sound like Anthony. You make it sound like it's Gary Bettman put Anaheim at the bottom of the fucking standings.
Guys,
no, not in that sense. But he wants to make as much money as possible. He makes it with Montreal.
Look at Tampa Bay. They were a fucking dynasty. All right, they won the Stanley Cup, and when the game ended, all the fans went home. You know, so the U.S. market is just shit,
dude.
Yes, it's all money.
He wants to build it. He doesn't care about Canadian market.
He has to do a better job at marketing his fucking players, his actual products that bring money to this game. He doesn't market that.
He can easily market Connor Bedard in the U.S. and Canada. He won't care because Montreal, if they go 0-82 or 82-0. He's going to get the same money because everybody goes to every game more likely than not. If it doesn't happen in Arizona, it doesn't happen in other markets.
I get what you're saying. I just can't stand the fucking idiots in this fan base who really think that Gary Bettman has it out for the Montreal Canadiens. Shut the fuck up.
Well, then I'm an idiot. I think he doesn't like Montreal.
You always were an idiot. That's why I love you.
I think he doesn't like Montreal. Maybe he doesn't have it out for us. Hold on. He doesn't have it out for us, but I don't think he likes Montreal.
All right, fine. That's your opinion. That's fine. I could accept that.
His head bubbles.
I mean, I get it. We'll never know what Bettman feels about us or not, but I do see the side of Joey. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Joey.
My God, Anthony, what's happening here?
No, but it's not conspiracy. It's as a business mindset. Yes, you said it, Joe. If Habs, and this is our fan base needs to wake up, right? Like, 0-82 would still have a full crowd. Guys, the last game of the season against Boston was a sold-out game. Tickets were over $300 on Ticketmaster. People were still purchasing them. It's Bettman doesn't have to worry about having a Bedard on the Habs team. But money-wise, Arizona or Anaheim. I mean,
let me just slightly intercept this, and then Zook, you can get to it.
It's fine.
The Montreal fan base, they're at a point now where they understand what's going on. They know management finally revealed a plan, and the fan base finally knows what's going on. Because if you look back, the mid to the late 90s, when Patrick Waugh was gone and the team was garbage, before George Gillette owned the team, the Canadiens were in big trouble. They were in big trouble. There was, to the best of my memory, there was talks about them probably being relocated. Nobody wanted to own the team. Before the Molson family came back to own the team, the Canadiens were in big trouble. So the reason why now, I get what Joey's saying. You too, Anthony. Bettman doesn't have to worry about the Canadiens because they're the top 3 markets in the NHL. I understand that and I get that. But it's also the reason why. It's because the fans finally know there's something going on with this team. There's something being built. Because I guarantee you, if Bergevin was the previous management. If he would keep doing the same shit over and over again, I don't think that there would have been sold out crowds. I think now it's because there's new management. Maybe it's because the fans love seeing this team being coached under Marty St. Louis, who we're going to talk about in a couple of seconds. They know, the fans know what's going on now. There's a plan. There's a plan here. Yes, there's still a couple of question marks across the board, but there's a blueprint. There's a foundation being built. The fans know it. The fans get it. The fans are excited about it. They like it. So and this is my opinion. This is my perception of it. This is why tickets are still being sold out.
So okay, and good point, because I agree with that statement, Sam, because this team is exciting to watch. Like, I would have, even with a shitty season, I still wanted to keep watching the games. Why? Because it's exciting they're showing entertainment. But let's rewind back to the shit seasons. There's where Joey's statement is correct, because even during the shitty seasons, the ones that it was dreadful to watch.
Last year is an example.
Last year was an example.
Had sold out crowds.
But yeah, because don't forget, we were all stuck inside. We all had a curfew, and we all had, because of COVID. So
yeah, look, at the end of the day,
last season was an exceptional season.
Yeah,
in a bad way.
Anyways,
Sam, it's a tough pill to swallow that for 2 straight years, Montreal has finished behind the Arizona Coyotes, and we still have crowds selling out. It's a tough pill to swallow. It really.
Well, look, I don't see it that way.
We have a lot of honor and pride for this jersey, and it'll never go away. It is what it is.
And then you know what Bettman does? The evil Bettman that he is, you know what he does? He says, "Well, they make the money, so." And he just
put business aside.
But there's revenue sharing.
We as fans put business aside, but we as fans should honor and we should be proud to, even with shitty teams and bottom of the standings, we're still out there supporting this team and those colors.
Oh yes, that's great that we all do it. Us, the rest of fans. I'm glad it's not like that market. I was just saying on Bettman's business side of it.
Yeah, business side
not to his advantage, to what he thinks is best to make more money. Anyways, that's my opinion. In the end,
I get it.
The money maker needs a lawyer, and that's what he cares for.
For sure, they need to hire a new marketing department. They market the NHL playoffs so well. Why can't they do that the entire season?
I don't know, but they're very behind in other sports. Like,
absolutely,
I want to talk about it, but they're very, very behind.
Yeah, I want to. Can we let's get into these the segments. And sorry for stealing your thunder, but
go for it.
But yeah, no, this is gonna be this episode's gonna be exciting because we have a lot of great things to talk about. And the first person we have to talk about is Marty St. Louis. His first full season as head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, and I think he did a phenomenal job, considering the massive injury hands he was dealt with, and he had to go scroll through the lineup God knows how many times this fucking season. He's building the culture that Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton want. They picked him for that reason, and we'll get into the Jeff Gorton and Kent Hughes conference later, but it's twice now Kent Hughes says, he goes, before he hired Marty St. Louis, he asked Vincent Lecavalier's opinion or advice or suggestion about Marty St. Louis, and Vinny said, it may sound biased, probably because they were teammates, but he goes, when you draft a player based on their potential, well, Marty St. Louis has the potential to be one of the best new coaches in the NHL. And I think he proved it
he proved that not only the full.
But I'm saying that phrase is exactly what it is. That embodies exactly what Marty St. Louis is to the Montreal Canadiens. They hired him. Look, he had zero experience. He still does, in my opinion, and yet he's able to win more games than these coaches who have been coaching all their lives. You know what I'm saying? Starting off. Is what I'm saying, right? So, yeah, they drafted him like they drafted him. They hired him like the draft, in a sense, right? So, he's actually growing with these players that he's coaching that were young. So, this is going to be an insane next 5 years. He's going to be exactly. And he doesn't have
look
the best
what he
players
proved
yet.
in 1 year with a bunch of injuries. Imagine what a better experienced team and more years under his belt. This goes back to the first game he coached last season. I know, Sam, you started off by starting the segment the first full season as a head coach. I'm bringing it back to the ending of last season.
Mhm.
It's he came in and already brought in the winning mentality from day one. Like, he was giving Joey heart attacks because we were in last place last year and we were winning games towards the ending of the
That's
season
true.
when we didn't need to win those games. And I mean, thank God we won the draft. But just to say, he was winning games when we didn't have to back then.
Yeah.
I mean, the only negative thing I have to say about Marty is those extra 5 wins this season. That's it. That's it.
That's enough
See,
to
Joey, I'm on
fucking
your side today.
Joey's fucking blow a gasket.
Yeah, he
Okay.
he
Joey.
he's certainly impressed. I still want to see how he will do in more pressure type games, like to make playoffs, to win against good teams. That's all something to be told in the future. But what he was dealt with, he did an amazing job. Like, it's not easy to come in in that situation starting from last year and then going into this year. We were almost a Laval Rockets at one point. So
Yeah.
what he did for now, good job. I want to see how he would do in more, let's say, tight games. I always mention about how I'm worried, how they would be defensively. Again, maybe they obviously don't have the personnel and they do have injuries, and how he would be in pressure situations of making playoffs and, being more competitive. But I can't say anything wrong about him. He's handled everything, even off ice. I thought he's handled the media very well. Sam, you brought it up I think it was last episode, the one before, about the press conference he had, or the interview he was doing, where they said, if you don't have any questions about the game, like, I'm done here. He's handled the media very,
Yeah.
very well for certain situations. And I think it's a good thing to continue forward with him at least another year or two and see where he can take us.
Well, I think the whole defensive side of his coaching, Joe, that you're concerned of, rightfully so. But I think this year, I wouldn't say he threw that part of the game out the window because it's a development year. But at the same time, too, I think that's going to be more focused on next season, where he.
Yeah, it could be.
I think now it's going to be like, okay, like, I have the defensemen, I have the young ones, I know how they could play. Now we're really going to work on a bit of a defensive structure. Whereas I feel like this year was a bit more of a development season, as much as for him as it was for these younger players. You got to throw in Stefan Robida's name in there too, because I think he's got a big part to play, especially on the defense side. And they're both young coaches, like Anthony said. But, like, imagine with a couple of seasons under their belt, and with more or less the same young core group. Like, they're looking to grow together. And there was one thing that Marty said. He at the end of the last game, his post game conference after they lost to Boston, I think he said something along the lines like, "This season we learned how to somewhat play all together." He goes, "Now the next step is learning how to win together." And as soon as he said that, I had like the massive fucking
shiver.
I was hard as a rock. So, but this is, you know what it means. Like, we know this about Marty, his philosophy, but yet every time he still amazes us, time after time after time again.
He has like the Kobe Bryant mentality, like the win-win-win.
He has it, man. Yeah,
absolutely.
Some people have it, some people don't. He definitely has it.
That win mentality, that Kobe Bryant, that Michael Jordan.
I want to hear one of the not conversations, but I want to be a fly on the wall in one of his post games with the team. Like how he pumps them up or how he speaks to them. That would be an interesting thing to watch.
I'm truly convinced each and every single one of his players would run through a fucking wall for this guy.
For sure.
They would run through a wall. And at the end of the year, I think Kent had an exit meeting with all the players. And they're not going to reveal what was said, but like, you have to figure more or less along the lines that, like, yeah, they love playing for this guy.
Yeah,
they really, really do. And who wouldn't? Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champion, Olympic gold medalist, Art Ross winner, because he knows how to talk to these kids. He's part of that young generational coach.
So and I think we're putting him on a high pedestal, and which is a given after what he's proven so far. But I think Joey brings up a very good point. Fuck, man, why am I agreeing with Joey, man?
Yo, he's
No, but
got,
all jokes aside,
got you wrapped around his finger.
no, but all jokes aside, Joey's comment before about playing under pressure. See, it's a whole different game mindset for young players, for young coaches, for anybody when you're just playing to have fun. Okay, the moment. So this season, because they knew
Yeah.
we weren't going anywhere, and all these injuries and all these young players just came up to prove themselves. They were just playing to play. You know, Marty even said it. There was no structure at the beginning. There was no game plan. There was no what's that?
There's no system. There was no system.
There was no system, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you guys played just to have fun. And when you go on the ice, I'll give you a perfect example. When me as a young, as a inexperienced golf player, okay, when I go to play just to have fun without thinking about anything, I always have a better game. The moment I'm playing with people that are better than me, or I'm trying to, have a great score at the end of my 18 holes, I have a lot of pressure. I start screwing up because it's a mind thing. So I feel like, yes, we're putting Marty on a pedestal right now because he's proven us what he's capable of doing. But the real test, like Joey said before, is when the team is under pressure. Those games that we need to win to make the playoffs, or those games to, you know what I mean? So we don't know yet.
But this is
doing.
But this is where I think when he says now we're gonna have to learn how to win together, I think that's where he's gonna incorporate and learn how to play under that type of pressure.
Yeah. And it's not only Marty, it's also the young players. All these players that have no NHL experience, they came to have fun. I mean, all these players that came towards the end, they knew there was no playoff hope. They were just playing hey, I have a chance in the NHL. Let me prove to the world what I'm capable of doing.
Full advantage, but I think a lot of that's because of Marty.
100%.
Go, Joey.
Yeah, I was gonna say Marty will get. I think he will get eventually his opportunity because you never know. Some coaches with certain organization never have the opportunity to be in competitive hockey. What I mean competitive is being in the NHL and actually making playoffs and fighting for the cup and objectives. Where I think Marty will have those opportunities. So we'll see what he can prove because I don't think Hughes will ever say. We'll get to Hughes obviously and Gorton coming up. But I don't think them two will ever set up Marty to fail because it does happen. Coaches have come into certain organizations. We have a pool of prospects, and we're gonna build something, and it never amounts to anything. Sometimes it's the coach, sometimes it's the players are bust. But I don't think the management will.
Toronto,
Marty,
Edmonton.
Well, I mean, Toronto's at a point. I don't want to get too much into Toronto because Toronto. At that point, they want to win the cup, but I mean, they're coming in first. They're going to compete it for every year. I'm not trying to be on their side of it.
No. I know it's no. But I'm very happy you said that Hughes and Gorton will not put him in a situation to fail. Like we keep saying how like this team is a two-headed monster. Like add in another head there. I know that sounds weird, but it's a three-headed monster like running this team. It's Gorton, Hughes, and Marty. What's the monster in the Godzilla? One of the villains of Godzilla. I don't know why I'm asking you guys. You're not fucking nerds like me. Fuck. Am I alone in this? Yes. The four of you are looking at me like I'm fucking.
When you're talking about three-headed monster, I thought you were talking about the dog in Harry Potter.
King Ghidorah.
Ghidorah. Thank you. Thanks, Ad. Yes, King Ghidorah. Yeah, or AJ, if it's better for you, that three-headed fucking monster in Harry Potter. But yes, Joe, I'm glad you say that. And to me, I see Marty being a same type of coach that like Rob Brindamore is for the Carolina Hurricanes. Like I see that. It's maybe because both of them played in the same era. They both won cups like a year or two apart. Actually, the Marty won 2004, and I think Brindamore won 2006. 2005 was the lockout. Yeah,
was it 6? I thought it was 7.
No, 7 was the Ducks. 7 was the
Ducks.
Yeah,
6. Yeah.
So. Anyways, I mean, if there's another coach out there in the league right now, I could see as a comparable, it is Rob Brindamore. But I think next year though, Marty is gonna push his players even more to start winning now. Like
Yeah, he has to. Look, unless there's a bunch of injuries, he certainly has to. I don't expect Montreal to make playoffs next year. Sorry, I don't know if we're doing a prediction for next season already, but I don't expect them.
Not yet.
I don't expect them to make
But-
playoffs,
okay.
but I might not expect them to be bottom 5. So if you want to see
No, I
progression,
don't
they got to
think
get
so
out of
either.
that.
I predict a fight next year.
For playoffs, yeah, you're gonna say that
There's
every
gonna
year.
be a-
until they
there's
make
gonna
it.
be a push.
I'm still saying I'm still on AG's side that if there were no injuries, I think they'd be fighting for a wild card spot, a bit like kind of like Ottawa and Buffalo did this year.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
Joe can't accept it. That's what.
No,
No,
I
I
don't. I
know.
don't
No,
think.
I
I
know.
don't think they would have done it. I'm sorry. I don't
that's
think they
fine.
would have
That's
fight
fine.
for it.
There's opinions like you are like an asshole like you. Everybody's got one. What do you guys think of the goaltender situation? This is a major fucking question mark.
No, it's simple, dude.
It's
Monty's
need
number
better.
one.
Do better.
Do
Do
better.
better.
But you know
We
what?
need
You know why?
better.
You know why it's a big question? It's because we're not used to this.
We're
we-
not.
Yeah,
we're
right.
not-
But,
100%
and they could get somebody. They could draft. You know,
But they
That's
have.
No, what I'm trying to say is like no other teams that have won cups ever had to worry about that position. It was always a hot goalie who won cups. Let's go back in time, guys. We said this so many times. There's not one besides Vasilevsky. He's the only hot goalie who's won cups, and they were, you know what I mean. But everybody else,
And he was also an elite goaltender.
and he also an elite goalie. But take him aside. Let's talk about every other NHL goaltending goalie. Let's go back to Cam Ward with Carolina, third string goalie that year, just fucking won.
Matt Murray.
Matt
Yeah,
Murray
but he did end up. But Cam Ward did end up being a really good goalie. The rest
ended
of
up
his career.
ended up, but he won it right with, as you guys remember, with the year that Koivu got injured and Cam Ward came in, and
I was at that game. Fuck,
You know?
it was the worst
So-
thing ever. Ugh.
so just to answer the question about the goaling situation, we're making it such a big thing because we're so used to having that elite Carey Price,
Yeah.
who,
Yeah,
know,
I
but
think so.
let's say we never had Carey Price. I don't think this would have been an issue. Like
I don't think we've ever would have made playoffs for like the whole fucking decade.
we probably would have
Yeah.
rebuilt a long time ago. But anyways,
Mhm.
I
probably
might
have
tell you
Austin
about the
Matthews
devil.
on our
We
team.
might have had some first overall picks if we didn't have him. But
Austin Matthews, guys,
Oh my God! Stop it! Don't do that to us. Don't do that to Joey. Mostly.
Joey, you remember? I don't remember
of
this.
course,
That year that we were falling into last place, and then we
Yeah.
had that winning streak in March
yeah, 6-7 games. I know.
against
I
Columbus.
remember. I won't forget. I was
That was
at
the year of Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
Remove those 7 wins at the end, we would have won the lottery.
I was I had
He was
I
very
watched a
happy
game
about
with
that
some
one.
friends against Carolina. I'll never forget. There was we're doing a potluck the next day at work, so we got together night before and we made the food for it. And we're watching Montreal Carolina, and like I was gonna break everything I saw, and yeah,
Put the fucking pot on everyone.
we were actually making sushi. I will never forget. First time I ever made it. I wanted to just take. Had the knife. I just wanted to like just out of it. I didn't
picture
do
Joey
anything.
just
But I was
fucking
angry.
eating everyone with the
Yeah,
fucking
it's-
chopsticks that came with this.
Chomps.
I was with Angelo was on the podcast. I think I was with him, and he was just as pissed, which was,
Oh my God.
because he understood. And we went on a stupid winning streak, like Ann mentioned, and that was the end of that. No Austin Matthews, no last place. I don't even know who we ended up with. I didn't want to
No
remember.
Patrick Laine. No, I think we drafted. Was it Noah Juleson that year? Or
Yeah, there you go. Messed up his eye and never had a career. That's-
okay, so all that to say, like, who's our number one now? Seriously,
Monty.
I don't.
we don't
Monty.
have. We do not have. I don't
Okay,
think
who's-
Montembeau is the number one.
wanna add-
I think Allen is regressing, so
Yeah,
he may
I
not
want
be
to
number
add.
one. We do not have.
I want to add to what Anthony was saying though.
He has a pay upgrade.
Hold on.
Alan, don't forget.
We don't have goalies good enough, in my opinion. Now, this is my opinion, to
Mhm.
get on a hot streak, to win
Yes.
the games.
You don't think
That's the issue?
Montembeau?
He's right
You
though.
don't-
He's right. We may not need a price. We might need a goalie that could be hot in the end of the season, for example. But I don't think Monty has that consistency that could get him to that
Yes.
freakiness.
So
And Allen is getting old, so that's
to
the
me.
issue.
To
in my
me,
opinion.
Zook said it right. Consistency. I think Montembeault right now, he's showing me flashes of being
And it's
a
like
young
Primo.
Allen. And a young
Yeah.
Allen always ended up being a best backup in the world goalie, never your number one starter to win a cup. That's certainly an upgrade from Montembeault last year, where I would have traded him, like I said, for 2 pucks and a hockey stick, because last year was god awful. But this year, look, he's miles better. I just don't think he's our number one, and I'll keep saying it from the time where Bergevin did not draft one. If you don't believe in Dobes or who else, Sam, that you're high on?
Listen, I don't know why. I don't know why Caden Primo. Dude.
Sam,
I don't
he's
know.
not an NHL goalie. His movements
I
suck.
know, but I don't understand why he's so good in the minors, and that he's one of those.
He's just good. That's it.
I've seen players that are so good in the like Charles Hudon is amazing, or was amazing in the minors.
Are a million times harder than the minors.
Cannot make the jump for some reason. I don't know why he cannot make the jump to the NHL.
Pro level is a million times harder. The NHL to the NHL is a million times harder.
I know, but it's to me.
No AHL. I don't think any AHL team can beat an NHL team. I don't think a single AHL team can beat an NHL team.
No, of course not. But it's two. But it's 2 years.
The Habs this year beat some NHL teams.
Oh, okay.
They weren't completely Laval Rockets, and unless you
but
take
they were
out
3/4 Laval Rock. Okay.
Unless you take out Suzuki, I'm talking full AHL lineup. There's no team that would
I know, dude. I know, and this is where I hope Jakub Dobeš is that. I hope he could be that guy.
Sam, if he isn't, we need to draft one. It's that's all there is to it, or we need to get one off of free agency.
Good luck with that too. I don't think free agency. Yeah, draft maybe. If there's a goalie in the first round,
then why have we neglected this for years?
Because we had Price for years.
Even though he had and I keep saying, even though he had a fucked up knee, and you knew what was going to happen.
He had a fucked up knee. He came back. He won the MVP.
Vasilevsky.
You're talking 7 years ago.
What happens if Tampa loses their?
You're asking a question. I'm answering you.
I'm saying when he fucked up knee the second time, and we knew he had injury trouble the second time around. You knew it's like that
was Bergevin. We can answer that question. It was emotions. You think Bergevin re-sign Gallagher? You think he's not gonna want to get rid of Price?
But it's not even get rid of Price. You know, a goalie takes 4 or 5 years to develop at least. Like, it's not even to get rid of Price. It's just you have one ready for when you need one.
They don't have.
Yeah. Well, they drafted, dude. They drafted Primo. They drafted Dobeš.
7th rounder.
I get
and the guy cannot stick in his net. He slides 10 feet away from his net.
Joey, I know, but I think at this point they were hoping that he could be that replacement.
A 7th rounder?
Joe, what do you want me to fucking tell you? Like,
just say, Joey, you're right. They should have drafted one, and it ends. It's over.
He's not agreeing with you.
Aside from Marc-Andre Fleury and Vasilevsky, right now in the NHL, which number one goalie was a first-round pick? I'm honestly asking because
which first-round goalie was a 7th? None.
Which first-round goalie was a 7th?
Which starter, NHL starter? Excuse me, I'll rephrase it. Which NHL starter is a 7th-round pick? None.
I don't know. I have
none. I can guarantee you there's not a 7th-round pick that's a starter in the NHL right now. Same as you say the first rounder. So
you're probably right, but
the odds are unlikely. And as soon as you watch Primo play, I'm sorry, I don't watch him in the AHL. I have not watched a lot of Laval this year.
He's different.
But every time I watch him, but it's every single game I watch him. It's not one out of every two. Every game. He has, to me, the worst about him is his positioning. He slides too much from his net. I'm not even I've never played goalie in my life besides street hockey. I even barely played as a forward or defenseman, and I know this. Like how I don't know how they don't address this position.
Why am I picturing you trying to fucking Dominic Hasek in the streets?
That's probably what would be the case because he had horrible positioning, but what he made up in is his reflex.
Hey,
but
Cam
seriously,
was drafted
we need to
25th
address
overall.
this position soon. Like Anthony makes a good point about you need a goalie that's hot at the right time, but if the goalie's going to be hot, you have to have some sort of quality regardless. Like Binnington, we say he got hot at the right time. He's still a good goalie.
Yeah, he
He-
did,
but he's still a good goalie. It just does the
yes.
Blues really suck right now. But he's still a good goalie. We don't have that.
To me, it's a Holtby. What the fuck happened to him?
He's just old. Holtby's just old.
Okay,
He got injured, I think.
okay. Question for you, Joey. God forbid next year Monty has a great season. Now, do you think after next season he's a number one?
This season or even better than this season?
He's got to be
the
better
same
than next
season,
season.
it's
It
gonna,
continues
but is he improving? It makes
and
a
improving
different
as
answer.
well. Like, let's say next year we're pushing for playoffs and Monty's having a great season. Now, do you consider him a number one?
At that point, yeah, you have to take consideration that okay, he's keeping. But even some games this year, he had like bad games. It's like what the hell? I don't know. It's just some maybe you guys are right. Some I've never seen from Price. Some I don't see from other NHL goalies. It's a lot of factors to come in. But as of today, I still think we need, in the competing sense, we still need a goaltender.
So here, let me end this segment on this question to all of you. At the start of this season, Marty St. Louis said Jake Allen's my number one. Come the start of next season, does Marty St. Louis say the same thing, or is he saying Sam Montembeault is my
Very
number
good
one?
question.
It's got to be I mean, based on the season they have, it's got to be Montembeault. I'm still expecting another goalie, but that's beyond the point.
No,
Yeah,
and if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be on free agency. And if it doesn't happen free agency, then to
As
answer your
long
question,
as-
Sammy, Monty's number one.
As
Allen
long as
is
we draft one or we have one for the future, we can keep Montembeault and Allen for another year or two. But I don't know about Dobes. I don't know if he can be a number one.
He's under a 2-year contract. He's going to start in Laval, and we'll see how he goes from there.
That's fine. If he's
I think he threatens Primo's spot.
Yeah, I think good. I mean,
so you guys are all going with
Verbeek.
He's under a Laval contract. He doesn't have a Montreal contract yet. So
Primo,
we'll see.
So if he gets a Montreal contract, Primo's going down to third. So what's gonna happen?
If that happens, I think Primo gets traded somewhere.
Yeah.
Good. We recover back assets.
Listen. I'm gonna say this. I'm happy for Montembeault this year. I'm even happier that he's going to represent Canada at the World Championship for the men's.
Oh, me too. It's true. Yeah, I'm glad. Maybe that will help him. Sam,
I think it will.
You know,
is he starting or is he backup?
I'm not sure yet about that, Zook.
I want to clarify this for you. I know the management and maybe you, because you've been following more of the AHL and how they are, like maybe you care about the success of Laval, and that's why with Primo, he does well in Laval, whatever. I know they have to care for both sides, but for me, I honestly only care about Montreal. So if the guy comes up to Montreal and he sucks, I don't care how good he is for Laval. If you can get assets, whatever makes
for sure.
Like, I don't care if the Rockets are, I hate to say this, I want them to do well, but if you were to tell me that, the Rockets would suffer for Montreal to be good, let them suffer all they want. Just have Montreal be good. I don't care
I get that.
as much about Laval.
I like seeing how the future, the potential future players.
Yes, but you know what I mean? If you can recover a pick for Primo and he's not NHL good enough for, let's say, for Montreal, and you can recover a pick for him, and even though it hurts Laval, I do it because my care is it's really only for the Canadians.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. You're a cold-hearted bastard towards the Rockets. Okay,
pretty much.
But just to finalize this, like if Cam, why I keep saying Cam Ward? Holy shit! If Monty is gonna be playing for Team Canada, that's already a big sign.
I think so.
Going to be a number one goal. Like
maybe other goalie said no. No,
he'll be a number one goalie next year because imagine your Monty becomes represents Team Canada, and then he's a second string goalie next year. It wouldn't make sense.
His confidence too.
Who's Canada's best goalie right now?
I don't know. I haven't checked, but for sure, Tristan. It's not Tristan Jarry. It's not. It's Montembeault. He's our best Canadian goalie right now, and not making the playoffs.
No, so seriously, Sam, do you know who our best goalie is? Really,
for Canada, I haven't. They haven't revealed the final roster yet.
No, not for this. I'm saying overall, like who's Canada's best goalie right now since Price is gone? Who do you think's Canada's best goalie? I don't care about this tournament. I'm talking right now that plays in the NHL.
Fleury.
Yeah,
and you know what? And he gets to start on the bench.
Yeah,
again,
that's true. That's a good question. I can't think off the top of my head right now because I'm focusing on trying to get the show going.
All right.
That's a good question. I have to look that up.
Well, right now there's Fleury, Elliott, Reimer,
Not Elliott. No,
Jones?
definitely not Reimer. No.
Calvin,
Fleury.
Allen,
Yeah,
Emperor,
we're bad for goalies, right? It's
Murray,
It's not looking
Bennington.
good.
No, those are guys, Anthony, that they're not in the playoffs except for Fleury.
it's got to.
Samuel
Is
Montembeau.
it Skinner? Skinner for Edmonton?
Stuart Skinner.
It's got to be Carter Hart, right? It has to be one of them.
Carter Hart is
shut
11
the
is
bed
11th
this year.
overall
He
right
did,
now.
but I'm just.
Carter Hart is 11th overall right now.
Yeah,
Tristan Jerry is 10th. Bennington is
just-
9th. Matt Murray is 8th. Darcy Kumper is 7th. Jake Allen is 6th.
I have a
These are
feeling,
right
guys,
fucking
that
stats, dude.
this summer's Kirby Doc style trade will be for a goalie.
We're gonna get
Like,
to that. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
Ooh.
All right.
You know what I mean?
We'll
Like
get-
a Devon Levy or like some young prospect kid.
Yeah, right. You
I'm-
think as if Buffalo's gonna give him up? Okay, come on.
They won't.
Stop it.
You're
Uh,
dreaming.
No, but that's what I mean, though. Not him, but like a player like
that's
that.
Yeah.
that's almost as not happening as us trading for the number one
Never
overall
know.
this year. Not happening.
I want to get to Nick Suzuki, his first full year as captain of the Montreal Canadiens, the youngest
proved it.
in his history.
Dude,
I
first
think-
year in his contract as well, eh?
I think he proved it.
He proved it.
Yeah,
I know,
Really
Anthony.
bad he played with mostly shit, but
I know, Anthony. You were worried about like he has this big contract. How is he going to perform?
Well, I predicted last year that it was going to be his best season, right? His career high season, and that went flop. This year he hit it. So
Yeah, 65 points.
I think he proved it as a leader too, right? With all the injuries and him being, you know what? It's crazy to say this, but he was considered besides Anderson, but he was considered a veteran on the first line, right? Like
Yeah, in some
you know,
ways, yeah.
in some ways he was a veteran. All the young players played. So I think he, as a leader with all the injuries, he proved to keep his composure and still play his game and still hit his career high with nobody. I'm telling you, and you put this on our Instagram post.
Yeah, I did.
This week.
We got a lot of comments on that. It was pretty cool.
If Caufield would have still been there, would Suzuki hit 80 points or vice versa? And I think both players would have potentially hit the 80-point mark if they were played together.
Yeah, I think Caufield 40 goals, maybe 20, 30 assists, probably.
Yep. I think both
Especially with
Caufield
Doc-
and
with
Suzuki
Doc
would have
too.
hit. Yeah, Caufield and Suzuki together would have both hit the 80 mark. We would have finally had two 80-point players on our
since Kovalev, I went with I think I went with Suzuki to have 70+ points, and it was very close. I mean, playing half a season with Caufield, in and out with Doc towards the end. Playing center, injury.
Yeah.
If them three stuck together, I think Caufield would have hit 40 goals, and I would have said Suzuki 70+ points. But as a captain, I mean, the guy did as much as he could with very little around him when the players got injured or they were shuffling different, line combinations. So
Suzuki was at 62 points without Caufield in January, right? January. So that's like 3 more months of hockey. He would have for sure hit 80, not 70.
Well, he was. I don't think not in January, but like
When did Caufield?
Caufield got injured in January, but I don't think Suzuki was at 62 points by that time.
No,
he
he
finished-
finished. He finished.
Oh yeah, right. Then he
Points
finished. That's right. 65,
without having Caufield for 4 months with him.
Yeah,
After 4 months of hockky.
yeah,
and it's funny.
Would have been easy.
And it's funny because like some of the comments on that post, Anthony, you're reading. It's like one person wrote, and I half agree and I half disagree, is that if he is that much of a good of a supposed to be our star player, then he should be putting up points despite who he's playing with.
yes and no.
Yes and no, and it's like okay, and it's
but
like
look who he
fine.
played with, and he still put points.
He still put up points, and like everybody's there. It's like, look how good Raphael Harvey Pinard played, putting up goals. Like probably Pinard finished with 14 goals of the season.
More than Yao.
Half of those goals are assisted by Suzuki. Half of those goals are because he was on a line with Suzuki.
Yeah,
No, I don't
he
agree with
augments
that.
everyone.
Wherever that comment came from, I don't agree with that statement because, I mean, look, Suzuki still put up 62 without anybody. So, and players feed off each other. You think Ovechkin scores all those goals alone? I mean, he has people passing the puck to him.
Yeah, but I think guys like Ovechkin, guys like Crosby, guys like McDavid, they're at a level of their own where like they don't need they could have the worst players next to them. They're still gonna put up points.
True.
Yes.
Okay, well, then look, Suzuki had the worst players around him, and he still hit 62 points.
Yeah, I think Suzuki's just a
That's
tier
why
below
that
them.
comment to me, I don't agree with, because Suzuki still showed what he's capable of doing alone.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I think so.
I always said the opposite. I think Caufield without Suzuki, not Suzuki in particular, but without that type of player, he might not show what he's worth on his own. But Suzuki, I mean, he did the job. Look, he's not Crosby, he's not McDavid. We know this. Crosby too. I mean, as maybe later in his career, he has to have chemistry with certain line mates for it to work.
Yeah.
Like having
Yeah.
Gensel with him. Gensel is not a shit player. He'd be a first liner in Montreal. He's not a shit player. He's played with him for a good period. Don't get me wrong, McDavid can do it with whoever, but he's still mostly doing it with guys like Draisaitl. He's not doing it with shit either. So
No, for sure. No, I get that.
they definitely have the potential to do it. They would do a little less, but the fact that Suzuki can get this many points with the amount of injuries, I mean, even Doc not being there from playing center and then being injured, that's a huge loss. As much as Caufield's been a loss, so has Doc, because that's the only line that worked for forever.
Yeah, I kind of hope, and a lot's going to depend what happens in the offseason, but I kind of hope that line comes together. But what I like about Suzuki is like he's just a calm person in general. Doesn't get emotional. Doesn't seem to lose focus. But I like that he's still learning. Like, and he said it himself. He's like I'm still in the process of learning. I'm going to learn. I sometimes have to learn how to speak up a bit more. He goes, even though there are some veterans in the lineup that do most of the talking and you respect that. He's at that point. I was like, I shouldn't be afraid to voice my own take on how to approach the game and all that. And that's cool. And that's going to come with time, maturity, and age. And with the guidance of a guy like Marty St. as a coach, I think a lot of fans were worried. Oh no, he's too young to be a captain in this market and all that. I thought he handled the pressure very well.
I was one of those. I was worried, but you know what?
Yeah, I think so too.
I think, and this was and this is the testament. Like, we're saying next year will be the year to test Marty with pressure and whatever, with a full healthy team and fight for playoffs. But this was a perfect test for Suzuki with all the shit that's been going on around him, and he still kept his composure and still played his game. Yeah. So as a leader, as a captain, and a young player, I think he really showed us that he could be that. I mean, he is the leader, but he can keep that going. So it's the opposite of what we said before. Marty needs that pressure to test us, needs that test to see if he's a good whatever, but. No, Suzuki really showed that he's capable of being a captain and a leader for this team.
And God forbid I'm knocking on wood, he has one quality that other Canadian players in general don't
say it.
What? Oh, no, I'm going to say it. It's part of the podcast. No, he has one quality that other players don't seem to have. Do you know what it is?
Not getting injured.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Why do you have to say it? Why do you have to glitch it? Because now I'm scared.
Even during COVID, I don't think the guy ever got COVID.
We said the same about Gallagher, and then boom, the year after his fucking life.
Zook, it's high level thinking, because maybe next year he might miss a few games, helping us get number 1 overall. You don't know.
Well, he declined the offer to go play for Canada because he's like he's tired. He's like, I'm still dealing with very minor injuries, bumps and bruises. Well, for lack of a better term, but that's a key thing, that he's not injury prone.
Swear to God, if he gets injured next season,
Joey, we're coming after you.
And if we get number 1 overall, you can thank me later.
Who cares? It's this year that we need to get number
1 next year.
I don't even. I haven't even checked.
Oh my God! We're gonna get to that particular topic in a little bit. We talked about Nick Suzuki. Now I want to get into the Cole Caufield extension. I think that's the biggest thing that this management needs to figure out.
I think no argument there. It's gotta be right.
I think you're going with 8-8.
What did Suzuki get?
Suzuki's at 7.5. Something.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get more than that. He shouldn't.
I
don't think
7
he
mil
gets.
range.
I don't think he should get more than Suzuki.
at,
No.
at 8 million, you push it just for like half a million more, which
Well,
is
if
like,
Suzuki gets pissed, it's on the manager.
no, but hold on a sec. Suzuki's getting paid 10 million for another 2 years. Don't forget.
Yeah,
Suzuki's
okay.
cap hit is at 7.7 or 8, whatever.
I
But
always
his
look
total-
at the average, right?
I get that, but Suzuki's total salary is 10 million right now.
Yeah,
this
but
season-
what's his total salary in the 8 years?
It's 10, and then after that it drops.
Right, but his total salary in the 8 years, it's 8 times 7.5, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So what if Caufield gets 8 and he gets more over the 8 years?
So I think that's why they haven't reached an
That's not your
agreement yet.
problem.
I think they're discussing what the terms are.
Right.
I think
I don't think it should be anything less than the 8 years, but just money, just make it around Suzuki. Don't make it complicated. We've seen situation before where one makes over the other, and then something seems to happen. Guys play worse. I don't want to get into that.
As long as the cap hit is not over 8 million.
Yeah, I don't think you should sign him for 8. Look, if they love Montreal so much, do it like Crosby. Take a discount.
Oh,
Let us get other players.
Well, they also they were building a championship team 3 times. I'm just saying, back to back.
Still, the fact that
But
one of the
yes.
best players in the world only made
Or,
8.7 million.
Or you know who else was one of the best in the world that took a major pay cut so his team could win?
Tom Brady. Yeah, Joey. Merc, look all you want.
He lost. He lost again.
I fed Anthony that one timer, baby, and he slap shot the shit of that on you.
And
top
Joey
shelf.
just had no comment.
He lost to us. I don't care. He lost to LA in the playoffs. I don't give a shit.
No, but
I opened that can of worms. I'm
no,
so
but
happy.
okay. I think the injury this year does affect the salary extension a little bit.
Okay.
Because here we are saying, don't give him 8, don't give him more than Suzuki, whatever. And I agree with that because I don't think he should get more than Suzuki for many reasons. But I think he potentially could have gotten more than Suzuki if he was still playing and finished the season with 80 points.
Yep.
But
He
without
would have had
that
at least
injury,
40 goals.
Sorry?
I think he would have 40 goals. He's at
Me too.
26 when he got injured.
and then
yeah,
he
yeah.
would have had
me too.
every leverage to say, "Hey, I deserve
Yep.
this," right?
I agree.
Okay.
With that injury,
Yeah, that's
you
possible.
as management, they have higher leverage to say, "Hey, you know what? You didn't finish the season."
Yeah, but his agent is Pat Brisson. Like, Pat Brisson.
So what?
He-
You
he's-
can't use the GM now. It's not
Well,
fucking
thank
Judge
God.
Link. It is.
Well, thank God, because they're the best friends. Pat Brisson would have said jump, and Bergevin would have said "I man." And-
How high?
yeah, with his fucking. Actually, no, he was losing the.
Bergevin would have given Caufield like 12 million a year or something.
Oh,
Just to destroy us.
He would have given the whole cap hit, and you've been the only one on the ice.
But
Yeah, I
but,
believe it.
that's-
8 for
no,
8
that-
is a
that's
good contract, in my opinion.
No,
Okay.
not more than Suzuki. If Suzuki, you guys call me Statsman Joe. 0.5 is 0.5.
Well, I see that because Suzuki's out there for power play, penalty kill. He's out
I
there for
think
over 20
that's right.
minutes.
And he's wearing
What-
this.
and he
what they're
scores
gonna
one-handed
do-
goals. He does that so deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, that being said, what's going to happen is, of course, because now you're dealing with Kent Hughes. He has IQ, right? So he's probably going to do some sort of bonus thing where he might get less of a salary than, let's say, Nick Suzuki. But if he reaches 40 goals, it's going to be a bonus.
So
he makes the
there's-
playoffs.
for
That's a
perform-
bonus.
Performance bonus is part of that.
Like Carey
you-
Price's contract.
But there's signing bonuses to consider. There's performance bonuses.
Performance bonus. Yeah.
You got base salary, then you get some.
That's what I mean.
That,
So
that was
they might
Price's,
play with that.
Price's contract was basically half a
It's all
million,
bonus.
a million for as base salary.
That's it.
Signing bonus was like
That's-
the 10 million.
So they're going to do something creative like that, in my opinion,
Well, I
especially for a
think-
goal
I-
scorer. Especially for a goal scorer.
Well, I think so too, but I know a lot of the fans they're done with the Canadians announcing fucking contests and like just announce a Cole Caufield extension, please. But I hope it gets settled. And I hope it happens soon because I'm gonna end this off. But like I saw a thing on Twitter, the Gazette, Montreal Gazette. I forgot who wrote it, but saying that there might be. They're not even close to a deal, but like Caufield's there saying, "Nah, I'm not worried about it too much." Gorton and Hughes on multiple occasions says, "Yeah, it's gonna get done. It's just a matter of details and all
Everyone's
that."
so in a rush.
But anyways,
Exactly.
yeah,
No
awesome.
rush needed.
Dude, how many rookies did we see in this lineup this year?
Too many to count.
That's fine.
Did you guys notice the team picture at the last game? And the bench, there was more players on the bench than on the ice.
The injuries, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a whole team.
All the injured
Oh,
players.
right. Okay, yeah. The last game.
They
Yeah.
posted it. Wait, let me find it. Hold on. Continue talking.
Yeah,
Let me find it.
yeah. But okay, let's help me name all of them just off the top of my head. Like Jordan Harris.
Belzil.
Hold on, George. Yeah, okay, fine. Fuck, he's an old rookie. But so you have Uri Slafkovsky.
Yep.
You had Caden Gooley. That's two on the camera. You had
Jack
Arbor Jackeye. You had Jordan Harris. You had Jonathan Kovacevic. That's five.
Did Justin Barron count because he didn't play enough games last year? Right?
I think he's still a rookie. Yes, so that's six. You had Raphael Harvey Pinard.
7 Belzil.
7. You had Belzil. 8. You had Owen Beck that played one game.
9.
Yalon.
Yalon. Yalonen played. I don't know if he played enough last year.
Honestly, if you're from Laval or whatever, I'd just call you a rookie, period.
Sean Farrell. We'll get
Farrell?
back to him.
That's 10.
What's his name? He played last game. Condota.
Lucas Condota, yeah.
11.
Yeah. Yoel Teasdale.
12.
Teasdale.
Tabarnak.
Is Primo still a rookie?
No.
Seriously, I don't know if he played the amount of games in the NHL.
I don't know, dude. I don't.
Okay, well, we'll forget
Holy
him.
fuck. Okay, hold on a sec here. Wait, what am I doing? I have look on the Montreal Canadiens. Okay, but like out of all these rookies that played, like who's the one that impressed you the most?
It's got to be Gooley. I don't.
Before Jackeye? Before Jackeye?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's maybe I'm basing it a little bit off potential, but Gooley's going to be a stud. I know his injuries kind of hurt him this year, but I mean, with him, we were a different team. We still were with Jackeye, sure. Don't get me wrong, but in a different way. I just think between the two, if I had to choose, I'll just go with the guy who's going to be more impactful. I got to go with Gooley.
Yeah. I loved Gooley from day one. I love Caden Gooley from day one. I think he's the one that looked the most NHL ready. Like Jackeye looks NHL ready, but I think Caden Gooley, like, how many games did he play where like everybody was freaking out? They're like, this kid does not look like a rookie. Like Mike Johnson on TSN said it many times, like he does not look like a rookie.
And he had to play with Savard, so he had to do double the work.
Well, you trash Savard, but he was a mentor to this kid. Savard had a very good year.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't admit it. That's why.
Had a good year for being fifth last. Yeah.
Okay.
That great of a year. The defense is like one of the Montreal has the worst goals against, and he had a good year.
For the rookies. He's good for the young guys.
That part is fine, but him physically on the ice with the unit of defensemen, they didn't have a great year. They were almost dead last in goals against. And this is with Montembeault and sometimes Allen saving them a shit ton.
But yet they still finished not bottom of the league.
But Sam, goals against, you know how bad they were? They were more impressive on offense than they were on defense.
Yes, I know.
Which is actually a shock because Montreal, it's usually the opposite. But yeah.
But Arbor Jackeye, this guy cannot.
He surprised me more than impressed, if that makes sense.
I wasn't surprised at all. I watched him play in the Bulldogs last year, man. And when he played in the OHL, he was a man amongst boys. I'm telling you. Okay. I watched him play.
I didn't watch enough.
I watched him play in the OHL playoffs. He was a force to be reckoned with, man. Like you knew this guy was ready. At 21 years old, that the size, the strength, he's physically mature for the NHL.
Yeah, at that point, it's just, defensemen, how long they take to develop. I thought maybe positioning he'd be off, but he did a great job all year round. He surprised me, and Pinard sort of surprised me. He ended up scoring 14 goals, which I never... What, Anthony? I didn't hear.
You stole my player. I was going to say Harvey Pinard is who surprised me. What? Besides Gooley, because Gooley is our future, and I think he's going to be our top D. I think Harvey Pinard was one of the biggest surprises.
Yeah, he was a surprise. Yeah. Well, Gooley was more impressed, but yeah, Pinard is.
But we said it before. I think Sammy said it before. Like Goalie, we expected it, right? You know he's going to be a star. You know that he came to play. You know
Yeah,
that.
but I don't think I expected him to really shine like the way he did.
No, but you knew that eventually it will. Pinard was who the fuck's Pinard, right? Like,
7th round pick. Joe, you and I, we had this discussion once, and I'm always going to bring this up. You and I spoke. I'm like, we were talking about prospects. I'm like, oh, what about Harvey Pinard? Like, he's putting up 80 points in the Quebec.
Yeah, you're right.
Junior.
You're right.
And you're like, nah, Sam, he's a 7th round pick. And yeah,
You're right.
I am.
Sam, that's why I'm not a scout. That's why I don't work in this. You know, I do get them wrong at times. Not primo, but other times I do. I do get them wrong.
20 points in 34 games with the Montreal Canadiens.
I would say, Sam, if they would pay me
yeah.
as a scout, I would have even a better percent because that's all I'd be doing is watching them play.
Well,
And
that's your job. Like if
Exactly.
if they're gonna pay you to do something, and if they're gonna pay you,
I do this on my free time. Imagine, and I still get them mostly right.
You're a passionate lover of this game.
Guys, no, seriously, all like Pinard, 14 goals, 6 assists this season.
Yeah,
with
he
34
put
he put up great. Well, they call him Raphael Gally Pinard for a reason. Just one thing I wanted to get back to about Arbor Jacka. Like, I hope George Larac teaches him proper fighting technique, because if he does, that's nobody's gonna touch this guy. That's all I want to say about Arbor Jacka.
Sam, if you say Goalie or whatever we said, who impressed you most, who disappointed everybody the most?
Well, I don't want to say Uri Slavkovsky. I don't think there's a rookie that disappointed me. I like Jordan Harris's game. Jonathan Kovacevic surprised me, actually.
He did as well.
I think he did. Like, as a perfect number 6 defenseman, shutdown role. You barely noticed him. That means he did his part.
Alan had really nice words about Kovacevic, which I was
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Am I disappointed with Uri Slavkovsky?
No.
I wouldn't go there.
He didn't play. He can't really.
Well, he 39 games.
Yeah, but like
played half
the season. Played
But-
half the season.
okay.
Only 4 goals, 6 assists.
Okay, now that hindsight is 2020, we could look back a little bit. If Uri Slavkovsky doesn't get that season-ending injury, do the Canadiens send him down to the minors at one point?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know.
What does your gut feel tell you guys?
I'm gonna say no, they don't. I
don't
say
think so,
one of their goals was developing rookies and playing pro hockey. They've had so many rookies in the lineups that played so many games. I don't think they would have treated Slavkovsky any differently.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah,
Develop
yeah.
him first. Sorry.
No, because I don't know if Zook, you say it, because I think this will lead to another topic. 'Cause I think
No, go for it. I just said development first plan. That's their plan, right? So that's why he would have stayed in the Canadiens, in my opinion.
But
Yeah.
I liked how, and I know it was mentioned in a previous episode, I liked how he said, I have the pieces to have success in this league, but now it's up to me to put them together.
Yeah. Yes.
And if he
Learn.
becomes like, and I heard the Matthew Tkachuk name again, if he does become our version of Matthew Tkachuk,
Jesus.
Joey, if Slavkovsky gets 100 points, what are you going to do personally?
Jizz.
I think who said it? Yeah. Seeing 100-point player on the Habs, I got to.
Okay, where? I want to know where.
I'm not gonna get specific on
Give me a
social
location.
media. You want? Is it because you want to watch? You want to join? What is it?
Oh, no.
all right.
Who knows, Joe? Things could get frisky, man.
Oh,
But-
boys.
Speaking of
This is
players,
how close we are. Anyways, yeah.
speaking of players who surprised you, who didn't surprise you, don't kill me here. But we've said this, and we said this in the episode with Angelo and Joey. Okay, we all have this vision of who Drouin could be and what we want him to be.
This guy.
He got 27 assists, 29 points this season. I get you guys, because look, this is the problem. When we got Drouin and we traded him for Sergachev, everybody expected him to be the superstar of this fucking team. Everybody expected him to be the superstar. Even myself. We all did. Everybody expected him to be, that 30-goal scorer, the superstar, the French superstar of the Montreal Canadiens. Yes, he wasn't that guy. But he's like the ghost. I find he's like that. Like I don't know. I just don't know how to explain it, but he's still putting up points. He's still the guy. He's like the hidden gem of the team.
I
Gem?
think
He's
I
not a
think
gem, man.
I think he could
He's
be
not a
that.
gem.
I think he could be that ghost that could just
Disappear.
fly away, disappear to
No,
another
but
team.
he-
I
29
want him.
points.
I want him to be a ghost on another team, and
Yeah.
when he comes and play against Montreal, he could haunt us. Then
To-
I
20
would like for that to happen.
29 points, 58 games with barely any defensive effort. No, it's just a no for me. It's done. I'm done with him. I'm done with the talk. I'm done hearing about Drouin. There's 3 players. He's one of them. Once he's gone, there's 2 left, and then I can finally sing
Rest in
hallelujah.
peace.
Yeah, he's the first one to go. I'm tired of hearing about it. If he did anything like off puck, sure, but even like defense, he's horrible at it. I don't know. I just don't want to see him in Montreal anymore. I think his time is done.
Who else do you think? Okay, Anthony started it. Who's back and who's gone?
Who
the
should be, or
options?
who do you predict?
Predict.
Let's go both.
It should be. How long is the episode?
As long as we want it to be.
Now we know who should be. I'm not going to mention it again. I'm not going to start another argument.
Okay. Look. Okay, here. Let's make things simple here. So Jonathan Drouin is a free agent.
Gone.
Denis Gurianov is a restricted free agent.
Resign.
Resign.
Okay, I'm gonna get to him in a minute. Michael Pezzetta is a restricted free agent.
He's finally gone.
Gone.
I want to say resign.
I want to keep him.
I want to
I
keep
want
him.
him gone.
Alex Belzil is an
Gone.
unrestricted free agent.
Gone.
Gone.
He's too old.
Chris Tierney, unrestricted free agent.
Gone.
Gone.
Gone. Okay. Now I'm gonna go on the defense here. Nobody, but Jordan Harris gets a pay grade. I'm on capfriendly.com, by the way. Just look at this. The goalies, Jake Allen is getting Cole Caufield's a restricted free agent. We talked about him. Sean Monahan.
Mm.
Gone.
I like him.
I like him.
I think they learned this year that that because of all the injuries, they're going to learn their lesson. I don't think they're going to sign him. Not to say that he wasn't good or
He was-
he's not liked in his team.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
he was
stuff, but
putting up close to a point a
yeah,
game.
yeah. No,
He was good for Slavkovsky, actually.
when he was healthy. Yeah, he had chemistry with the team, but I don't think.
Well,
look, it depends how much he's going to want.
17 points in 25
Yeah,
games.
but what would you
But he
pay
has
him?
an
though?
injury history. I don't think
That's
there's anything
it.
to do with it.
No. I think because of
it's
his
a high risk. It's a high risk.
it's too much of a high risk, and I think if Doc goes back to center,
That too.
proving that he could play, you have Suzuki center, Doc at center, then you still have Dvorak, and I think you have Jake Evans for another season or two. I don't see a spot for Monahan, unfortunately.
Okay, but hold on.
Neither.
Is he
What about
he's
Dvorak?
what, a
Did he leave?
restricted free agent?
No, unrestricted.
No, he's UFA.
He's unrestricted. He's 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because I think if he can play another season with us and prove who he could, because this is what we all said at the beginning of this season, that he was gonna put up the points and get rid of my trade deadline for assets, and he could have been that guy because 25
And then he
games,
got hurt.
17 points.
Yeah.
We don't need him. I'm not saying we need him. I like him.
No, for sure.
Don't need him, but I think we could use him as trade bait if we had the opportunity.
We tried, but
We
injury
tried,
history.
bro.
It's,
One more time.
No, I know.
if
you
it's
bring
his
it,
first injury, I would say sure, but everything that's
It's
gone on
not,
in
yeah,
Calgary,
it's-
it's not worth it.
this guy's hips and bones are fucking.
Yeah,
They're
they're
glass. They're a glass crack away from breaking again. It's unfortunate because I liked him too. I liked Monahan, and that was part of the plan. But
Yeah, if there's one thing you can't humanly do, you can, motivate players to come back if they're down. You can get players to come back from a lot. Once your body starts to give out, it's done. No one can, and that's what Monahan's doing, unfortunately. His hips are done.
yeah.
What else did he injure, Sam?
His ankle,
His
his
ankle.
ankle
I
this
think
year.
it's
His
just
hips
finished.
are done. His ankles are done. But like this year was his ankle too. This one actually breaks my heart a little bit. Paul Byron.
He's
Yeah.
staying with the team, don't worry.
With
Yes.
how though? I don't see
Management.
doing what? I don't see it. I don't see it,
Paul
Adrian.
Byron?
Yeah, he
No.
and I know what Adrian's talking about. So at the end of the year, at his interview, he said he asked the team that he would like to stay on the team, but for a different role. He's done, man. The poor guy. He said did you hear him say how I can't even walk for more than 30 minutes, 45 minutes because my hips are fucked. He didn't say that, but he's
No,
oh
but
my
he's
god,
he's done on hockey.
he's
He's
done.
He's done.
He can be
done,
in
man.
management. I mean, that's fine as long as he doesn't count towards the salary cap.
But look, and it's a sad thing. Like he's 30, he's our age, 33, 34. At 3.4 million, you clear up right there, and then you have Sean Monahan being cleared up 6.375. That's
what we want.
that's just under 10 million right there.
There you go.
So-
Caufield's contract.
Well, yes,
And
and
you
that's-
clear
so
up price. It's all coming together, Zook.
they're not clearing up price. Nobody's gonna take that.
No,
contract.
whatever.
Not even Arizona.
LTIR,
Not even
whatever.
Arizona's gonna take that
Yeah.
contract just yet. But so basically, the only of the free agents were you guys actually want Denis Gurianov back.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I wouldn't mind seeing him another year. I think he did just enough to get another contract.
Really, I think he's gonna be used as trade bait.
Yeah, that's possible.
It
That's
could,
very
but
possible.
he's still gonna.
But I
he'll
think
still
he's
get
useful to
signed.
get one.
Okay.
If he doesn't get traded, I think he's useful to get a contract. Definitely over
got it.
for me over Pizzetta,
He could. I want to keep Michael Pizzetta. I think character
over
guy. in that team.
Gurianov.
Yeah, because we have players. We have players coming up that are going to play on that third line. Like I don't,
Who do you think will replace him?
dude. Right now you have who do you have right now? Don't forget, you still have to put Hoffman in the lineup. You still have to put Gallagher in the lineup. You still have to put Anderson in the lineup.
Okay, Anderson's top two lines, but yeah, that's a different thing. I think you might be right, Sam. He might go because of our situation, but I think he deserves third line minutes over Hoffman and Gallagher and all those right now. That's
I
maybe a
get
different
that.
narrative.
I pick Pizzetta because I want him in the lineup. I want him there.
He fits the culture. Yes.
He 1,000% fits.
Yeah,
the
crazy Italian. He fits.
I
the
fucking
He
love
fits
it.
it. He fits it.
Okay, well, speaking of who's gone, who stays, I know he can't be gone, but do you think they'll do something with him, Gallagher? Do you see him still playing?
Yeah, playing, yes, but here only. He's not going to move.
No,
He's not
you don't
moving.
think him on you don't see
No.
him injured in LTIR?
No.
Wow, that if he gets injured,
If he
maybe.
gets injured, yeah,
next
but-
year. Next year.
But wait, Anthony, he's
Done,
gonna
man.
have his famous interview in the summer. I had all summer to prepare my body. I'm gonna be ready to go. I'm gonna be in the best shape ever. And then come 30 games in, he's gonna have 4 goals
He
in like 35 games,
Because he
and
blocked the
and
shot.
he's gonna get injured.
Because he blocked the shot.
Yeah, but
and he broke
Sam-
the same ankle twice.
Sam, how many times has he done it? Well, I came back sooner than I should. When the fuck is he gonna learn?
He's not gonna learn. He's gonna do it again next
Exactly.
year.
For me, I'm sorry. I don't at a certain point. I don't feel you've done the same mistake once, twice.
I know.
I think he's done it
I know.
2 to 3 times now. I mean, you're coming back before you're healthy. You're only doing yourself. You're not doing yourself any favors, and you're not doing Montreal any favors. You're coming back. You're playing injured, and you're not even helping the team. I don't know. I don't like that in players. It's not only on Gallagher, and I love his heart on it. Sure, I like that, but it's not helping the team in the end. It really isn't.
Joey. Absolutely. Joey, you just opened up the topic of all
Yeah.
topics when it comes to this season. Injuries, and more injuries.
Yeah, it's
More
brutal.
injuries. This team's motto should be more injuries, more problems. Anyway.
Yep.
It's brutal. It was brutal.
Wow. What was it? The record? They broke the record. 751 man games lost.
And I didn't think they would break the last record, which I think it's held by us or was close, right? We were very close to it.
No, they
Another
broke the
year.
record.
No, this year, yeah, but
This
the
year.
yeah, but I don't know if it was last year.
If you
or-
combine both years, like that means
Yeah,
that means
that's historic. It's
we
never happened.
probably have more
yeah.
injuries. We probably have more injuries on the team than the
Yeah,
amount of
it's
the
historic.
amount of total deaths on
Yeah.
the planet's
Yeah.
history.
This is why. I mean,
I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
this is why. Look, Montreal still surprised by. I know you guys made that point of them fighting because they had so many injuries, but this to me was catastrophic this year. Besides the regulars guys getting injured, what I expected Monahan. I expect because of his history. I expected Gallagher, but the rest of them, it was bad. But when you look at some of the injuries, Sam, we spoke about this. You're mentioning how the medical staff or the medical team may not be at fault. You might be right. Like some of these injuries are not really avoidable.
There,
It
a lot of them were bad luck. I think they were bad luck.
but it's also on the players. And
Yeah.
I mentioned this earlier, coming back too soon. Now, whose fault is that? I don't know. But the management should force players to sit out if that's the case. And the players should learn how to accept it.
Can't you set that? We need to do a better job at protecting the players from themselves.
Yes. And they shouldn't come back earlier than what they're supposed to.
They fucked up on one player and one player only.
Who?
Give you guys a guess.
Monahan.
Thank you, Zook. Monahan. That's the only player where I think management and
you know why? He wanted to play against Calgary.
Absolutely.
First came back, and that's where he re-injured himself.
Exactly. That's the only situation amongst the injury topic where both management and probably even the medical staff fucked up.
Yeah, well, there's going to be changes.
He came in walking with a fucking boot.
Yeah.
A boot. I tried my best to really emphasize on the. Anyways.
But how frustrating is that?
Extremely. It's extremely, like, on both ends that they allowed that to happen. And Monahan said himself, I look back now, like, I probably regret it because there goes my chance to show that I could still play. Maybe show another team that, hey, that if you want me on your cup run, I could be available maybe towards a new contract now that his contract's over. Of course, that part's frustrating. There's the other part that's frustrating where it's like there's a few injuries that were avoidable, and I think Caden Gooley was one of them where, like, he didn't have to deliver a hit, but then he fell awkward. The Jake Evans one, he tried to win a face-off with like 2 seconds left, did all he can to win it, fell awkwardly. The other centerman, I think it was against the Islanders, the other centerman fell on him, busted up his leg. You know what I mean? Those are the things that are frustrating.
The only one is, sorry to cut you off, Sam. The only one I think they did a good job with was Caufield, because he could have played the rest of the year, but they said, no, it's not worth it. Shut him down now and operate and make sure he's ready for next year. That's the only one I think they did a good job with. Like,
I think Slafkovsky, I'm trying to remember my best here, how exactly it happened, but him too, like, maybe it was a thing where it's like, you're probably better just sitting it out, go get surgery and don't risk it so you don't get fucked up.
Exactly. And I don't know if they did a great job with Slafkovsky, but I don't think there was any choice with him. Did he ever come back early?
No.
Slafkovsky? No, I just don't. I just think him was bad luck.
The Arbor Jacki one is.
But that's expected with Jacki, right? You know, fights.
Yes, where it's like
it's kind of bad luck because it was a shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Adrian, you know the fight, right? You know something might happen during a fight.
But was that fight that particular fight, was that one necessary? That's the one I keep questioning.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say yes or no. Like, you'll only say is it necessary because he got injured. So to me, if
of course, hindsight is always 20/20. But he said himself, now I'm gonna have to pick my battles.
Yeah, the rookies are gonna learn, but yeah, that's what you need to do.
I'm just tired of the whole blame the medical staff narrative. Like, fuck off with that bullshit needs to stop.
It does.
Like they okay. I'll slightly retract that, but I liked how Kent Hughes said in his press conference, and that's going to be our next segment, that yes, a lot of it was bad luck, and it is a forethought. But having said that, it's like they do need to do something about this, because they could have he said it himself, we could have all the plans in the world here to what we're building here, but if we keep having injuries like this, we're never going to build a winner here. So I know, Zook, like you really when I mean fuck off, I don't mean you, maybe a little bit, but they are going to look into it. They have no choice. They have no choice at this point.
Yeah, look, so sometimes it's not much needed. It's just a change in one of the processes. That's all. You know, like, you have to change the world in this case, but something has to change in a sense where you have the data, you have the history. The last fucking 20 years, I'm sure if you compile the stats, Joey, we're probably the most injured team since the year 2000.
Yeah, we are.
So there's something fundamentally wrong here. Either we're drafting smaller, weaker players, which used to be the case, but now with the zero excuses, we're drafting tall players, big players. We have strong players, we have fighters, we have good skaters, and this and that, and we're still seeing the same results with the injuries. So there's something that has to change.
Zook said it best. It doesn't have to be the entire staff itself. It could be a procedure they used to follow or some sort of protocol where guys get re-injured, whether it's too early or something they can do to rehabilitate them better. It doesn't have to be the people.
Yeah, but let me ask you guys this though: could it be now, like with this newer generation of players, these kids, like they're constantly training in the off season and maybe even during the season, wherever their trainers? Do you think that could have a part to play?
Yes.
Maybe some of these players are overtraining to the point of risking.
I say certainly overtraining, and just the league in general just demands more, and that goes for every sport. I think in every sport, athletes today, as opposed to before, they need to be, super well conditioned, strong, fat. You need to be basically everything to be a professional athlete.
They're playing on the edge. They're playing on the edge. In every sport.
Exactly, and to get to that sort of peak athleticism, you need to train obviously a lot, but I think that does put your body in danger because there's a lot more injuries. And it's not just hockey, there's a lot of injuries everywhere. Some is due to playing more games, like in soccer it's more like because there's much more games being played as there was in the past. In other sports it's because basketball, every player is stronger, faster, taller than they were before, and that comes down to how much they train and they put their bodies through hell. And then you get to actually playing the sport and they get injured.
Go, Anthony.
Do you think also a big factor of all these injuries this year was because they played with no, like I was saying earlier, right? They
No
played
care.
with no care, right? They were just having fun without thinking about, like, when you're trying to fight for playoffs, yes, you have the grind and this and that, but you're also being careful. Like Jack Guy, he dropped the gloves. Maybe if they were fighting for playoffs, he wouldn't have made that stupid decision to drop the gloves at that moment. Or so maybe without the no care mentality this season, you think that's another factor?
I don't think it's a matter of not caring or
not care, but not
no. I mean,
no. But I know what you're saying. It could be also the level of intensity that Marty's demanding of his players, but at the same time too, you can't. He can't not ask for that type of play from his players because that's how he used to play. And if you want to win, like you're gonna have to play with that intensity.
Yeah, that's true. Also, we mentioned the rookies. It's funny we mentioned the rookies before, but rookies, when you're new in the league, maybe they don't know how to fully protect themselves from dangerous hits.
Well, Slavkovsky, he definitely showed that.
Exactly. So the more rookies or inexperienced players you have, I mean, that can happen. Certain players know how, if they're going to get hit, how to protect themselves. You can see it. Yeah. But I don't expect a rookie to come in and fully know that. So we iced a lot of rookies. That doesn't help in this situation of guys getting injured. Plus, I think it's a mix of bad luck.
It is.
Do they? I know Anthony's not trying to use the word care. I know he's trying to say.
No, I know what he was saying.
Maybe be careful. Maybe they'd be more careful if they were making playoffs. I don't think it's the case. I don't think guys would be less careful, especially getting injured, because getting injured is not a joke. You don't know what you can get if you can recover.
If it could be, it could end your career at such a young age.
I'm trimming it down to a lot of inexperience in the lineup and just a series of bad luck. And some bonehead moves, obviously, because players come back earlier than they should.
Perfect storm.
That's it. All right. The Gorton Hughes press conference at the end of the year. I love these guys. I love them more and more. I know I said I love Marty, but here add these two monsters in there, the three-headed monster, King Ghidorah of Montreal, I'm going to call them. But they were there for a good 45 minutes discussing all about the injury problems. They were talking about Marty a little bit too, but they know what they're doing, guys. They know what they're doing.
We already know that, and they just they just summarized it for us at this press conference.
Yeah.
All the feelings that we had about what these guys are capable of doing, our perception of things and whatever, they laid it out flat for us. And the ending just made me feel good even more.
Dude, when Jeff Gorton was like, "Look, guys, it's coming. I wish it could happen tomorrow." That's what she said. He's like, "I wish it could happen tomorrow or the day after." He goes, "But fuck, it's coming." Okay. So no, but like, I'm seriously.
That's the name of this title of this episode.
It's coming. with the CU. Well, no, because he was asked that question. Like, are you expecting the pressure from the fans next year to start winning? And he goes, look, I understand that at some point this team has to start winning. He goes, but he said it. He goes, I asked the fans just a little bit more patience because this winning team is coming. Why do I sound like Arnold there from Pumping Iron? Same feeling like coming, I come to the gym, like I come with my wife, like I come there at night. It's terrific.
It's coming.
But seriously. Oh my God, I have a good idea for a post. Okay, well, I have to put a pin on that. But yeah, going back to say like that part of Jeff Gorton, what he said to me, like kind of struck me the most. Him saying it's coming struck me the most. Just letting you know.
Sam gets the best of both worlds.
I do.
Mind,
no, but even when Kent Hughes said, "Look, like we need to do something about the whole medical situation on this team, or else we're never going to build a winner." Like that to me was very key, and I think that's the last. That's the last piece of the puzzle. I remember Zook said this once. It's part of the puzzle. Like you got to fix it, and Zook was totally right on that. And like I'm looking forward to see what they do on that front. But overall, I don't know what you guys think, but like that press conference, Anthony said it. They laid all their cards on the table,
and that's what they do. That's one of the things that make us believe and get happy about, because we used to remember Bergevin, we'd have certain issues that he would never address. Like, maybe he addressed them internally, but tell us.
But not only that, it's sometimes you listen to these press conferences, not only in the league, but even, at work or on TV. And sometimes it's so scripted. They have to say what certain things, right?
Exactly.
But in this situation, it didn't sound like they were just saying it just to say it. They actually meant what they foresee for this future. And just exactly what Time said before, that key comment from Hughes is, all I ask is a little bit more patience.
It was Gorton.
Gorton. Yeah. All I ask is just a little bit more patience. That's it. Very straightforward. It wasn't.
I don't remember any GM or member of this organization ever saying. The only time I remember a person saying something to fans it was Price when he said, "Yo, relax, chill out. It's just preseason." Yeah. But in terms of the management, like you said, I've never heard any management on this side say something like that.
Never.
Same.
Question though for you, and Anthony, again, you called it. Hughes said, if we do. Yeah, maybe. If we do make a trade, it's for another Kirby Doc-like type trade. Okay? He says, we're not going to make a trade for a guy who could help us with this team right now. If we do make a trade, it's for somebody that's going to help us long term.
And that's why it really, and I know I said that, but Zook said something at the beginning of this episode about a trade to get a goalie. I didn't think of that. I actually thought it was going to be a Kirby Doc situation, but if we can get an established goalie without worrying about. But then again, I think that could have been something crossing their minds at the beginning of the season when we all thought that Monty was just, a trader for 2 pucks in a stick, like Joey said. But I think this season he proved himself where maybe we don't have to risk trading and getting a goalie when we can get someone else, because Monty proved. I don't know. I like what Zook said before because I didn't think of it. But I think that was something that probably crossed their minds at the beginning of the season, but maybe changed their minds now.
Zook wants Carter Hart. That's why.
Prime example of a guy that's
not living up.
living up to his potential. You got a first round pick. Why not?
Well, Philly says I know Briere is probably going to rebuild the.
Well, there you
Flyers,
go.
So.
There you go, man. You never
So-
know.
I don't
dude.
know if Philly will get rid of him. Not
You
yet.
never know,
Not
man.
yet.
Yeah, you never know.
So-
It's
You
true.
never know. Fuck.
Okay, so last time we're gonna ask.
No, please. I thought we were not going to talk about this. It's a million times.
Okay, no,
He's
but
not
does,
Doc. He's like 5 years older. Is he
okay,
not?
but does that? But when you hear Hughes say that, does that convince you that Dubois is closer to coming
I mean,
here?
that's not a Kirby Doc trade. It's not the same. It's not even close to the same
Mm.
age. And hockey, age is a big thing.
Okay, I get that, but okay, so if you're taking Kent Hughes serious, literally, you really think he's looking for a guy at the same age as Kirby Doc?
I wouldn't say
More or
same
less.
age. It's very hard, but I'd say 23 and under.
He's only 2 years older than Doc, eh? PLD.
Yeah,
but
dude,
Joey-
he's 24.
But Joey, what
He's going
player
to
at
be
the 20
25. I mean, it's
Oh,
just trying
fine,
to.
fine, sorry.
But what established NHL rookie right now in the league?
Well, wait. There's a difference.
no, he's
Was
not-
Doc really established? He wasn't really established.
But he wasn't a rookie either. He was
Yeah.
no, well, he was a regular on Chicago.
But that doesn't.
Yeah, but he
okay.
got injured last year, the year before.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just don't see. I don't know if there's any players out there that, besides Dubois, because it's a
He
whole
annou-
big
because he
thing.
announced it.
it. He wants to be in Montreal. He wants to get out of Winnipeg.
I don't know.
I don't see any other players that would.
Yeah,
team would
but
wanna
did we
get rid
see,
of.
did we see the same thing in Doc when he traded for Doc? No.
That's true.
No. That's exactly the only reason why we're talking
Sam,
about Dubois, because he announced it.
He said okay, but he said he wanted a Doc like trade. I don't know, a guy that's 25 years old compared to you traded
No,
for a
but-
21-year-old.
He didn't
to
say
me,
he
it's not
wanted a
the same
player.
thing.
He didn't say he wanted a player like Doc. He wanted to make a trade that how like they traded, unfortunately, an asset that they liked in Romanov and a draft pick for a player that could potentially help this team long term.
Yes. So when I heard the long term part and the way he said like the Doc trade, it makes me think of a younger player, not mid. I know you might only be talking about 4 years here, but to me, I'm thinking someone in terms of nearly Doc's age that has the potential in the future. When I thought long term, I'm thinking 18 to 21, 22, not 25. That's where I'm thinking. So that's what kind of pushed me away a little bit from Dubois, but. Sure, all signs can point to it.
Did you also guys hear how Gorton says we have a lot of assets? We have a lot of like we have a lot of prospects that are doing well. But listen, if we want to make a trade, we do have a lot of assets.
And I said that last episode. We
You
have
did,
so many players with a lot of potential. They just don't fit in our team. We can't have all these players play, unfortunately.
Well, you give them time in Laval and you see what happens to them.
True, but if you want to
Yeah, but how long you wanna wait?
Exactly, and if you're trying to build your team now, and these players are showing what they're capable of doing, that's why I think this season was a blessing in disguise with all the injuries that happened, and seeing players like Pinard, Bazil, and all these guys showing what they're capable of doing. Look, I love Pinard, don't get me wrong, but he's a good trade bait to get someone more established than Pinard. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I want to get rid of Pinard, but we have so many.
Oh my God! Sorry to interrupt. I forgot. Bernard and Ilonen are restricted free agents.
Yeah,
They should be signed.
I think Bernard's getting a contract.
100%. I want to keep Pinard, but I'm just saying.
If you think you could trade, okay, you're saying Bernard. You want to know who I think? Who I wouldn't mind trading to get
Hoffman.
someone that could.
I'm
No,
joking.
that's one of our young guys, and don't hate me. We're gonna have to. No, not he's a defenseman though, and I like him, but we're gonna have to make room. Nope, not Barron.
Not Harris.
I trade Jordan Harris.
You would?
What?
Yeah. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I would to get a forward, to get a good forward that could help.
Yeah,
him.
why? Because Logan Mai was coming in.
Dude, there's a lot like and
Hudson.
believe me,
Struble.
I love Jordan Harris. I
Yeah.
don't even think Strubal's going to make the Canadiens one day.
There you go.
No,
I
I
don't.
agree with Sam. I don't think so either.
I love Jordan Harris. I really do. And if he stays his entire career as a Montreal
He's
Canadiens,
been the most consistent.
I'm
though.
going to be, believe me, I'm going to be happy. But if you look on the left side, we're still keeping Mike Matheson, who's been a beauty for this team, and is going to be an excellent veteran. Because I think Edmondson, if we still keep Edmondson, this is just on the left side. Then you have Jack-Eye that you have to keep because of his toughness. You have Caden Gooley because he's going to be our Canadian version of Andrei Markov one day. I promise you that.
Yeah, but Harris can play on the right, Sam. He's done it offside a lot.
Okay. You still have Lane Hudson that's going to come for sure.
But
you
he's
have exactly. I didn't even mention Lane Hudson on the left side.
Yeah.
You have Logan Mailloux, who's on the right side. You have Justin Barron that's there, who I think made. I don't know why you two fucking morons are laughing, but
I don't know either.
You have Jonathan Kovacevic that might stay on the team, and you still unfortunately have to keep David Savard for another 2 years.
Get rid of Savard.
Yeah, who's gonna fucking want him?
I mean,
listen, so much of it is in this episode, but who cares? We are allowed to say what we want.
No one's denying anything. It was just the way it came out.
No, but like
It's a good shout, Sam. It is like, I mean, we have a lot. We might have to sacrifice them.
You're gonna have to sacrifice, and that's my point.
They sacrificed Romanov, and everybody loved him. We all loved him. Management loved him.
I love the trade. I was the only one that. Oh my god, everyone Romanov. I love the trade.
I love the trade too, but it's like, you know what? Again, it's another, for me, this is just me personally, it was another PK Subban, Shea Weber trade. I'm sad to see PK go.
You guys are too emotional.
Happy to see Weber come.
Too emotional like Bergevin. Everyone's so sad about it.
No, hold on. I think our biggest worry about that trade, it's not that we didn't like the trade. Okay, we all liked it, but we had a worry because Romanov was already showing what his potential, and we needed that grind in the defensive side, okay? But Kirby Dach had injury-prone situations, so we were worried. I'm like, we're getting rid of a guy who has.
You guys were worried.
Yeah, we were worried. Like, look, Romanov was showing that he was going to be our fucking, Scott Stevens type defense, right?
Jesus,
with that
my favorite,
that size and everything, to get established player but had injury prone. I was worried that we would have lost someone good for someone who's going to be on the fucking LTIR one day. So that was the only worry we had, but the trade was amazing. It was just a worry of the injuries.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Despite how the season went, there were a couple of cool, memorable moments that the Habs displayed on the ice. So I want to ask you guys, like, what? I know what Joey's gonna answer.
Do I re-say my favorite moment?
But yes, what were Joe? Let's start with you, Joe. What were your favorite? Name a favorite moment.
Do I really say it like without?
Yeah, motherfucker. I'm asking you. Speak.
When they lost, that was my favorite moment, and I'm being totally serious. I want a tank. I support the tank. When they lost, I felt better.
So you had 45 regulation moments, and you had 6 shootout or overtime favorite moments, right?
Well, no, he doesn't like the shootout.
Yeah, but
okay. So we'll go 45.
But I had much more stress, anger when they won those games as of when they lost. So
okay. So, all right, Joe. Well, thanks for being a team player. Let's go with the.
But you wanted me to answer it.
You answered, but that's not. Anyways,
I'll come back with another one.
Okay, sounds good.
I don't want to hear fans comment. I don't want to hear all that.
Let them comment all they want. What are they going to do?
I'll come back with another one. But I did enjoy when they lose. I'm pro tank. I hate to say it. You know what? I don't hate to say it. I'm pro tank, and I want them to lose every.
Hey, I know we're in a society where like you have to have the same opinions, or else you risk getting canceled. But it ain't gonna happen to the Curfew Boys. We ain't going anywhere.
So, yeah, my favorite moment when they lost. I want them to tank. I want them to get Bedard. I want what's best in the future. And winning at this point wasn't great moments.
Okay, here, let me rephrase this for you, Joe, because it seems like I have to go into fucking details. Do you have any favorite individual player moments?
Ooh.
Yeah, there were quite a lot of them. I know. It's tough to pick.
You
want me to do the turn? We'll come back to you.
Yeah, I was gonna make another joke, but
So fuck it, say it. You're there now. You might as well say
I
it.
think I know where he's going.
well,
Let's
when
go.
Gallagher didn't play, or when
Oh,
he
for
stopped, when he
fuck's
not scored at all.
All right, Zook, Adrian, what is
I
your
told
moment?
you.
All right.
Zuka.
I have to
Okay.
give it, no, that was good. go Zook.
Well, for me, it specifically was when Kirby Doc came back to Chicago and scored the winner. That's Selly.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a cool moment. You know?
I have that on my list. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That was a good moment. Awesome. Go, Adri.
Honestly, I can't think of anything.
We'll come back to you, Anthony.
I think the Suzuki's last shorthanded goal was what tops it off. I mean, I can tell you
The one against Washington.
The
No,
shorthand.
yeah.
No, Washington.
Yeah, when he scored against Washington on shorthanded. That
Yeah, it
breakaway?
was
On the floor.
when he outsped the fucking
hold on.
defenseman,
Wasn't it
short-handed
this week
goal.
against the
Oh,
Islanders?
this week against the yes.
Oh yeah, the one-handed.
one-handed
okay.
goal.
Yeah, okay.
You guys
Was
are
it was the
fucking-
Islanders or Capitals?
Yeah, it was against the Islanders.
Islanders.
Yeah,
Hold on, I can tell you
Jersey's
right
looking for
now.
me.
Yes, it's
No,
Islanders.
it's Islanders.
yeah, it was against the Islanders.
Yeah, the Islanders.
yes.
But
Where he
I
outpaced the
think there was
defender,
so
right?
many. I think look. I love Suzuki. He's been a player that the closest we can get with those beautiful hands, and I'm not saying this in a dirty way, but like let's go back to Kovalev.
Yeah,
He just has these
magic.
He has just this special. There's something special about Suzuki, and I really hope that what Joey said before doesn't happen about this injury situation.
Damn it,
But
stop
he's
it.
just Suzuki had so many beautiful plays this season.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the last goal, shorthanded, one-handed, shorthanded goal on the floor was just what tops it off.
Okay.
He does it all. He does it all, in my opinion.
He does. I want to challenge you, Anthony. What was nicer, that one or his fucking Datsuk penalty shot on against Arizona?
Okay, let me. No, it was no. Okay, but there's a difference. There's a difference because when you have a shootout or a penalty shot, you have the time to make those plays, right? You're one-on-one with the goalie.
Yeah, but that's
in
tough
that moment.
to do, though.
They don't all
It
do
is
it.
tough to do, but it's even tougher when you're fucking chasing a puck shorthanded with a defenseman player there, and you're fucking speeding down the ice. You fall on the floor and still manage to score a goal. Like that was just.
I get why Anthony chose it, because it really embodies his work ethic. He's a hardworking kid.
Absolutely.
And that play was all hard work.
It was, but like
it was not needed.
He was just
No,
trying to
and
get
that
it.
too.
To me, it's like if you're actually thinking, I'm gonna try to make this move, it might not work, but let me go for it. And the fact that it did work, whereas the one-handed goal, as gorgeous as it was kind of a fluke. You get where I'm coming from? It was beautiful. Like I'm not taking anything away from Suzuki's one-handed sweep of a goal, but in his mind, he wasn't thinking. I'm sure he was thinking, "Fuck it, let me just try because let's see what happens," and it went in. But like the one, it was premeditated that I'm gonna go in and fucking just flick it, flick it, and it worked.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
But both those goals were the nicest goals of the season.
One more favorite moment, and I'm hoping I'm not stealing anybody's.
Go. Doesn't matter. Do it. Go for it.
You guys have to all admit this: the Subban and Price triple.
Yes, sir.
That by far the best moment.
That's the one.
That's the one, baby.
I have a whole list, and so far we're on point. That dude, that moment brought me fucking tears.
That was like a fuck you, Therrien. I just wanted that. I just wanted it. Like that.
It really, it kind of was. That was a beautiful moment, and I wish I would have paid fucking hundreds of dollars just to see that. My favorite, I have a bunch of favorite moments. But one of my favorite moments was when Jack I beat the shit out of Zach Cashin. That was a fucking. So he was given advice. He's like, Cashin is very technical, and if you give him time to think, that's when he's gonna beat you. So don't give him time to think, and that's why Jack I rushed into him right away. And because as soon as it caught Cashin off guard, and then forget it, that's when Jack I had him. That's one of my favorite moments. Okay, Joe, we're back to you. Let's go, buddy. You had time to think.
It's hard. You know how much I want them to tank. So like,
come on.
Okay, I'll say it in a way. If the Canadiens weren't in obviously a losing tank mode, I would have said a moment was like when Caufield scored the late goal against Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I have that on my list.
It would have been a phenomenal moment if we were
It was
competing.
beautiful.
So you know what I mean. Like I enjoyed the moment, but obviously it hurt for our tank. But that moment was great, and like it kind of just showed how
who passed it to
good
him.
the Canadians can be in late games, which I tried to make this positive as possible, saying, okay, if they can score these late goals when it comes actual time to winning, you know that they can do it. So I think that they have what it takes to do it.
They're getting there. They're getting there.
Exactly. Once they get there. So that was a cool moment to see. I'll say the overall how the offense played. I was always so tired of Montreal growing up, how little they scored and how much they defended. I thought this year was a big turning point. Just the year in general, how much more offense and more excitement they were able to create as a team. Yes, they gave up a shit ton of goals, but it was a little bit of chaos and chaotic hockey. But I enjoyed seeing more of the 6-4 games than Montreal losing 2-1 and not being able to score a freaking goal. Like playing the Devils every time in the past, they couldn't score one goal a game. So boring. At least if they would lose to the Devils or one of the games they actually beat them, they're scoring 3-4 goals, and it happened against a bunch of other teams too. So at least that was a nice moment that we can see that the Habs are finally becoming one of the better scoring hockey teams in the league. So.
And we said it at the beginning of this season we said it last year and we didn't see it happen, but we said it again this year and it happened. We want to lose with effort, right? We want to lose with entertainment, and we got that this year.
Yep.
I just want to honorable mention Michael Pezzetta's shootout winner celebration.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was as a Tiger.
Did you
ode to Tiger Williams?
Did you see? I don't know if you saw this, but like a couple days after, there was I saw this on Instagram. I think Michel Therrien saying you have to respect your opponent.
Yeah, he's old school.
In reference to that, though, I'm like, again, he's talking about respect, but like, like.
Look,
he has no respect. What's wrong with him? Exactly. Like, why does he always bash fun, good things?
Celebration because he's
an old man.
He's too old school. Like that's his opinion. That's fine. But
he's from Sinard. He should know what fun is.
Yeah. Okay.
He's an old.
All right. Do we get on with the finals? Yeah. We'll get on with the final segment here.
Yes, sir.
Stanley Cup playoffs are here, baby.
This is not my favorite. This is not my favorite
top
one.
Predictions, yeah.
Boston Edmonton finals.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why it's not my favorite because I hate to say it, but I think Boston is going to win it this year.
It's Boston,
just the way it is.
Okay.
Boston Edmonton finals.
Yeah, that's a good final.
You're going Boston Edmonton finals. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you guys are saying Bruins are beating the Panthers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, let's start.
We're going first round. I thought we were going first round.
Okay. Let's do first round. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
First, we'll do first round, but it's okay if you guys predict. A lot of people are predicting Boston versus Edmonton.
Yeah.
In the finals, but let's go first round. One thing at a time. Okay. Here, let's start. Let's start in the West since the West is not that strong. Tonight, it's Monday night. You have the Kings against the Oilers. Right now, the Oilers are up 2-0.
Good. Fuck you, Dano.
So.
That's the only reason.
Yes, sir.
Who says who you guys predicting, Kings or Oilers to win this one?
Oilers 5.
Oilers in 5? I say Oilers in 7 just because the Oilers goaltenders a bit. Okay. Oilers are taking this one. You have the Dallas Stars versus Minnesota Wild.
I'm gonna predict them every year until they win. I always have a sort of thing for Minnesota. I love Kaprizov. I love Hartman.
Okay.
I like some of their players. I'm going to say Minnesota 7. Come on. I'm hoping.
Okay. I say Dallas in 6 or 7. Yeah.
My head would say Dallas, but my heart says Minnesota. So.
Gotcha.
I'm with Joey, unfortunately.
Okay. Because you like Fleury. That's why.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No,
you.
You don't
actually. I like that. I like a lot of the players on the Dallas team.
Yeah, me too.
It's just like I said.
I like both teams. It sucks that they play each other.
Yeah. I think Jake Ottinger is going to win this series.
But that's because now again you put Fleury backup.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true. And now they're losing.
It's okay. Depth.
And
I really don't care about this series. I'll go with Dallas just to go against you.
Very good. We got this one. I think is going to 7. Golden Knights versus the Jets.
That one I have a hard read.
Six Knights. Six.
Yeah,
Knights.
I'm going with the Golden Knights.
The Jack Eichel game's too strong.
Yeah.
But if Mark Stone comes back and he's somewhat healthy,
he is coming back. You know, he just got healthy in time for
the whole LTIR bullshit.
There you go.
Balls.
And finally,
Winnipeg in 6.
Oh, Winnipeg in 6. Okay, and finally we have Seattle versus Colorado.
Colorado.
Nope, I'm going to
go with
be
Seattle.
Me too. 7.
Seattle, because I don't think Colorado's gonna
Colorado
win this year, simply because Landeskog is not coming back and they don't have depth with Nazem Kadri in the lineup.
Makar's been playing
or no?
Makar's injured too.
Yeah, so I think Seattle's gonna upset. I'm going with them
in 7. Yep.
Is Shane Wright playing?
No, he's with the farm team. Their playoff run.
Okay.
By the way, Sam, before we continue, I think Dallas is gonna win. I want to clarify this, but I just want to see Minnesota. That's
okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right, let's go to the East. The East is going to be fucking interesting.
Last time we had a strong East.
Yep.
Yeah, the East is stronger.
So here, let's go with and again, there was 2 games tonight in the East. Carolina Hurricanes beat the Islanders 2-1. So who are you guys going with this series?
Carolina 5.
Carolina versus New York Islanders.
Or sweep. I don't know, 4 or 5 Carolina.
Okay.
I want to say
bad Islanders lately.
I want to say Carolina. I do. But I think Islanders is going to be the only upset. I think this is going to be the upset.
I'm glad he's saying this so I can tell him he's wrong when he is wrong. I can't wait.
Can't wait. I think Islanders is going to be the upset. But like your stupid prediction about Minnesota.
No, that's my heart. I'm
going to win, but my heart says
yes. I like Minnesota.
Carolina's going to win, but my heart says Islanders.
No, it's not the same thing. I like Minnesota. You actually think Islanders are going to win.
And finally.
Finally?
We have. Oh no, sorry. Yeah,
there's much more.
There's much more. Whoops. Sorry, I'm looking at the Monday schedule. Bruins versus the Panthers, and the
Boston
Bruins take it 3-1.
Boston in 5. I'll give Florida a game, but Boston in 5.
Yeah.
I hate saying this, but I want Boston to beat Florida just because we have their pick.
I said it before, Sam. I remember if you heard me. I don't at this point. I don't even give a shit. The pick 16, 17, or
I know.
20,
I think
20,
Boston sweeping
whatever.
I just don't want Florida to go far in the playoffs. That's all.
I know.
Boston sweeping it. I think Florida got lucky getting in, and yes, they got a bit of that. No, I think Florida.
I think the other teams around Florida. It's a good point Anthony brought up. I think the other teams around Florida actually
fucked up
to themselves. Yeah, they messed up. Pittsburgh not beating Chicago and the Blue Jackets is one of the worst things I've ever seen in history.
A bunch of frauds, Pittsburgh. Jesus. Rangers versus Devils.
Rangers.
I
know. I don't want to go.
Predict. That is
Rangers in 6.
Predict, but
it is. Yeah.
It's going to 7. I think it's going to 7.
Rangers 6.
And who's going to win it, Sam?
Devils in 6.
Fuck.
It is a tough one to predict because
Sam, you got to say Rangers, right? Because you had Rangers Boston all season. You said Rangers Boston conference finals.
Yeah, I know, but the Devils, man.
Yeah, but look at that.
You can't count them out. You can't count them out, though. The Devils. I'm going Rangers in 7. Okay. Lightning versus fuck you, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Lightning in 7.
Leafs in 6. That's Lightning
Leafs is taking it.
Lightning in 7 because Toronto cannot win a game 7.
Okay, Lightning. I'm going with Lightning in 7.
That's why Leafs at 6.
Lightning in 6.
And you know what? The only reason why I want Lightning to win is because I still strongly believe that if Toronto does not pass round 1 this year, they're dismantling the team.
Yeah.
And this whole Kirby Doc trade-like situation could be Montreal.
Austin Matthews, come, baby. We'll take you.
No, not Matthews. It'll probably be Marner.
Or Nylander.
I would want Marner.
I
would want Nylander. I see Marner a Hab. I really do. But then again, we'll see.
I hate his face.
Marner a Hab? Ooh.
Yeah, I hate his face.
What?
But hold on a second. But I want to say something.
Good.
I do want to say something.
I'll give it that. I'll give it that much.
Yeah,
I still want to say Boston Edmonton finals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. hate to have to say this out
Scenario
loud.
number 3,455.
It's one fucking scenario, you fuck. And I've been saying this since last year. The moment Toronto passes round 1, they're gonna go straight to the Stanley Cup Finals.
But you said Boston.
I-
So what is it?
He doesn't know what he's saying.
What do you mean I don't know what I'm saying? Listen to me.
You're
and listen
predicting
carefully.
you're predicting Toronto to win the series, but you're predicting if they win the series, they're going to final. But then you predict the finalists are Boston, Edmonton. So what is it? You can't go with both in this scenario.
Minnesota in my heart. Listen, okay? Look. Fuck you and fuck you all, okay? Boston Edmonton finals. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
And who's winning?
Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate that, man.
I
I don't want both teams in the finals. I don't want a Canadian team to win it, and I don't want Boston to win it.
And that's
And I
why
don't-
that's why I want Boston to win the finals against Edmonton because I don't want another Canadian team to win it.
Yeah, but you want Boston to win?
Is
I respect Boston.
necessary evil, I guess.
I gain
Still a rival.
respect for Boston.
All right, Joe. The final minute is yours.
I've been waiting all episode for this. Guys, please answer this question. Who scored 30 goals this year? Who predicted it?
Okay,
I know who
ladies and
predicted it.
gentlemen,
I want the people
Ladies
to
and
know.
gentlemen,
Even
thanks for
Chris
listening
from
to this.
Mexico. I want him to hear this. Who
Listen.
predicted the 30 goals of Anderson, Suzuki, and Gallagher?
Me.
Ed Anthony, Mr. from Mexico. Only Adri kept his mouth shut because he didn't even make a prediction.
so
Who
guys,
was right?
to all our listeners out there, thanks for listening to us. If you like
So
to
for all
Hold
our
on a
listeners,
sec.
I will
Hold on a
clarify. We
sec.
made prediction at the beginning of the year. We had
There you go. That's much better.
Okay, Joey, you're fucking right. But hold on. I know he's gonna
Joe, I
say,
unmuted.
but
Joe, I
injury
unmuted
part-
your mic. You could speak now.
injury
Gallagher
part-
was not making 30 goals without injuries. Anderson wasn't injured enough to say, okay, it hurt. Excuse me, it hurt him to make 30 goals. And same with Suzuki. So the only one is Caufield, which we know. And I predicted Caufield to make 30
You're
goals.
telling me if Caufield wasn't gonna get injured
I predict him to have 30 goals. He's
and
not
Suzuki
the
wasn't
topic
gonna
here.
hit 30 with Caufield in the lineup? Healthy?
I mean, he still played 82 games. He didn't hit it.
Yeah, because he didn't have.
Yeah,
Coffee
but he had no
before.
fucking teammates.
Not the other way around.
I
tough,
think.
it's
Look,
tough.
Look, Suzuki. I'll say
Close,
it, but
Joey.
Chris, I'll mention Chris again in Mexico, and you guys with Anderson and Gallagher. Are
no,
the
I never
biggest
said
ones.
Gallagher. Okay, I never said Gallagher. They said it. I didn't. Okay, I only.
I
played
said
along
it to
after.
piss you off, Joe, and
You said
clearly
to
it
piss you
worked.
off. But we
I
could
did
have
all
had
year. I was waiting. I was like this every time you wouldn't score. I'm like
a
another
healthy
game less.
Joey.
Oh
And I
my
know your
God.
response after what I'm about to say, you're gonna be like, "Well, interest is part of the game." A healthy Habs team would have gotten you 3, potentially 4 30-goal scores this year.
Who were the
Goff,
four?
Anderson, Suzuki, and Caufield. All four would have
Anderson
hit.
played so many games. He didn't score it anyways.
Anderson, how many goals did Anderson score this year? 20?
No,
Yeah,
22 to 23. Maybe
7 more
24?
goals. 7 more goals healthy. You think he would have unhit it?
He didn't. You're gonna call him. It's like our Pacioretty debate. You guys would call him. I don't know if everyone here did, but you guys called him a 40-goal scorer. But the guy hit 39. He never even hit 40 in his life.
Round it off.
No, you don't do that. So
Come
he's a
on.
30-goal scorer. You don't round off.
It's easier for math. Just round it off.
So you're gonna call him a 40-goal scorer when he hit 39.
It's not like we're engineering a building. Just one. What's one off? You know.
Okay, look.
That's it.
I think Caufield and Suzuki would have both hit 30. But at the end of the day, let's say it, Joey, you were right.
Prediction-wise, they didn't hit 30. Gallagher and Anderson, which
We'll see next year,
completely
Joey.
stunned me.
We'll
We'll
can't
make a
next-
prediction again
we'll
next
see you
year.
next
and
year,
we'll
buddy.
battle it.
I
We'll
can't
battle
wait
it
for
out
the
again next
20.
year.
I cannot wait for the 2024 Habs season preview episode in September.
I can't wait when we hit the 4-year mark and Habs win the cup.
It's gonna be 4 years in 4 years, Rafi, and then in 4 years in 4 years. It's gonna be. I said it 4 years ago, but about 10 years. ago.
When did Mark Dumont come on his episode? A year ago? So I still have 3 years left. Fuck off.
He came in? Did he come in 2022 or 2021?
Yeah, he was here
2021.
last year. He came
Last
last
year.
last season. Yeah.
Okay.
I still have 3 years, my man.
C'est pas PlayStation.
C'est pas PlayStation.
And that's why this year we're all fucking saying the potential this team has and multiple number one.
Coming, bro.
With the trades, it's not. It's. I mean, potentially.
I will for
coming, Joy.
once be right over Joey in the next 3 years. That's all I have to say. Remember this episode.
I agree with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we done? No more.
We're done. I'm done. I got nothing
everybody
left
coming
for the
tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, wow, I just threw myself off. All right, to all listeners out there, thanks for listening to us. If you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook and TikTok. If you want to see our beautiful faces, subscribe on YouTube. If you like what you hear, leave a comment. It's gonna make us better. And if you want to listen to our episodes, you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, and any podcast platform you listen to. Until next time, are we gonna have another episode before the draft?
We'll be back a couple of times for playoffs. We're gonna make more playoff predictions. Talk about it.
Can't wait to tell Anthony he's wrong.
More playoff predictions.
And there might be news in Habs world.
If there's breaking news too, absolutely. No, we're not done just yet. But in terms of talking about the Habs and their season, this is.
We're gonna be running here when Dubois signs in Montreal. Just
yes,
I told you, Joey. I told you.
I can't wait when you're wrong about that. All right. Love you, Joey. Until next time, guys.
Bye.
Good night.